Welcome to the Off-Brand Golf Show, coming to you live from the Off-Brand Studios in a clubhouse, in a desert, by a cactus. What is up? I am your show host, Walker Vestgood. No pro talk allowed on this show. It's only amateur golf. And I can't wait to get this one started, because we certainly have a couple of amateurs. Amateur hour in here. In fact, actually, we have a pro and an amateur. We'll get to that in a second as soon as I can figure out how to turn this music down. With me, I have somebody who is adored, loved. I don't know how else to introduce this guy other than he is a man whose primary swing thought is now flail. I have with me a man who goes by the name of Adam. You might know him as Not a Scratch Golfer. Adam, welcome to the show.
It's great to be here.
Dude, get in that microphone. Put that thing. Don't worry, it gets sanitized.
In my dome. Okay.
We also have a friend of his, another Canadian, A.
Hey.
His name's Gordon. Gordon, you make sure you stay in that microphone. Is it tall enough for you?
Oh, yeah.
This guy's like 6'9".
I have a long back.
You do have a long torso.
Yeah, I know.
I just realized, holy shit, you're like, from the waist up, you're the same height as Adam is standing.
Not far off.
I never realized that. I watched you swing a golf club all day, and I didn't see that at all.
Yeah, I found out when I started getting injured a lot, and someone diagnosed my back as having like a couple extra vertebrae or whatever, and it helped. I had to figure things out, and I do a lot of work to overcome that.
You
Actually
have
taught me a
Extra
lot.
Vertebrae?
Yeah,
That's not a real thing, dude.
No, dude.
This sounds like a conspiracy theory.
We could get into that. No, it's just people have different proportions. Stuff
Okay.
we'll talk about hopefully later on with just like Adam's swing is funky, and part of it is because of some proportions that are a little bit off.
Yeah, dude, we should talk about that, because I often think everybody does it, where they swing a golf club and they're trying to like mimic certain people or trying to swing like sometimes you just can't do. You can't be Adam Scott unless you're shaped like that guy, right?
Great point, and it's kind of cool that you bring him up. So when you measure his arm length, like his arm span to his height, it's like identical.
Uh-huh.
And then there's a whole kind of wave of teaching. Then a few guys that have specialized in this and researched it for 20 years, that have certifications primarily based on that, how long your forearm is compared to your upper arm, how long that is compared to the width of your chest, and they'll actually fit you into a swing model that corresponds to all those things. So that, it's funny. You nailed it. And then there's people that get very deep into it, and I enjoy studying their content and doing their certifications and stuff.
And you are I think there's a lot of crossover, I think, in the audience that's hearing this that knows who Adam is. We'll obviously get into specifics about him very, very shortly. But you're like a practicing professional in where? Like, who are you?
Yeah.
How did you get here, dude? What are you doing in here?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Well, Adam and I actually did a backyard lesson, I guess a month and a half ago. And
wait a minute, you guys just met each other?
No. We hadn't. We met. 6 years ago. I was working in indoor teaching facility, and he called us up and said that he wanted to learn to golf, and I was like, all right. And he's like, no, actually, what I need is a driver swing, because he played pitch and putt, skipped school, skipped college, skipped everything, had played 1,000 rounds at the Queen Elizabeth Park pitch and putt, and that's true.
That's a true story.
Yeah, no, I know. I've heard this actually.
So I thought that was very cool, and he came in and did a swing analysis with him and got to know him, and it's funny. Like, I guess the viewers might not know his story, but he got sick, and you can tell it in your words, and obviously there's a lot going on there. But we ended up just playing a ton of golf together and not really working on his swing. but yeah, that's where we met initially, and then and then you just everything took off for you. You played tons of golf and became a YouTube sensation in a sense, and but yeah, we just kind of started doing lessons a little bit recently again because things were falling off, and that happens when you're just playing all the time, and yeah.
And when your swing thought is now flail.
Yeah.
Dude, that's such a phenomenal story. So this was actually a comment that was left on one of your videos?
I mean, it's always seemed since the beginning that I think to a lot of people, part of the appeal of the channel is they watch me hit a golf ball and they go like, what's going on here? But then, you add it all up at the end of the round and sometimes the score is pretty decent. So I was doing a promotion for a sponsor of a video. They basically provide remote lessons, we'll say it that way, just to keep it easy. So the promotion was whoever does the best roast of my swing, is going to get a package of free lessons. So lots of creative ones, lots of funny ones, mostly about my, crazy inside takeaway. But the one that I chose as the winner was, it's like this guy's swing thought is now flail. It's far off.
It's funny too because like you watch like a golfer with his backswing and then yours is just like now flail. Like to start the downswing. That's the swing thought. That's great, dude. That's great.
Some guys it's low and slow. Some guys it's this and that. For some guys it's now flail.
And then so like first off, today we are in Northern California. We're in the Bay Area, not too far outside of San Francisco. How did the story of how you guys ended up here today is actually pretty remarkable. Like there's some savagery going on. There was a lot of driving in your case, right, Gordon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we were saying a month and a half ago he came to my backyard and was like, dude, about to play some golf for the next few months, and yeah, I've got some problems. His driver and then things were going kind of sideways. So anyway, I think just at that point I said I'm gonna go down south for a week, 2, 3, and and he's like, let's do this. Let's make an epic golf trip of it. And I was like, yes, you know what I mean. So yeah, I drove down. I just barely escaped a huge winter storm on the way to Reno, and then stayed a few days there, Arizona. Then we met up in Palm Springs.
And when was this? When did you leave home?
Oh, this was just like a month ago, 3 weeks ago ish.
Oh wait, so it's not like been a week. It's been like a month.
For us, it's been kind of it'll be 2 weeks overall.
Okay, but you took your time like driving down through the states.
Yeah, a good trip with my wife. Saw some family and friends and stuff.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And I'm now actually officially, I think they call me a digital nomad, right?
Yes.
I was evicted from my place in Vancouver. My landlord decided to sell it, and then I had to get out.
So not technically evicted.
Well, yeah,
get the fuck
eviction.
out. You got told get out.
Get the fuck out, and here's your. I think they had to give me a month of free rent or something.
Dude, it even sounds polite when you say fuck.
Okay.
It's funny because I've heard sorry out of Gordon today. So we played golf today, and I've been hanging out with these guys since about 11 o'clock, and I've heard sorry just a few times, but every time I start laughing, and I don't know, like when Californians say like, whoa, dude, like, is that the same?
It's hella gnarly.
I just chuckle. It's great.
Yeah, shredding the gnar. You know what? I once gave a guy $5 and said sorry about it because it was in Canadian and not American. It was an American airport.
You like sorry?
Yeah. Anyways, it's just cultural, I guess.
All right. So you guys are playing golf. Have you been filming a lot together? Probably a lot, or no?
The conditions have impeded quite a bit of this, but yeah, we filmed as much as we could. We wish we could have done more and better, but
even in because okay, so you met up in Palm Springs. So you guys played in Palm Springs?
Played a bunch in Palm Springs. I think a good little like preview of behind the scenes YouTubing. It's not easy going out there and filming. No. I think a lot of people just see it and it's like, oh, okay, cool, it's being filmed.
No, it's a pain in the ass.
It is a pain in the ass, and like I mean,
you get into a rhythm, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and when I'm out there just filming myself and there's no time constraint, it really just becomes part of the pre-shot routine. But like we had a round in Palm Springs. The guys at PGA West are awesome. They love the channel, so they're constantly, offering me tee times and stuff. I take them. But it occurred to me the other day, I said, like, wait, I've never played Stadium, which is the signature course here. So I emailed my guy, shout out to Eugene, awesome guy, always hooks it up. And I said, Eugene, I've never played Stadium. I'm in town. I'm with some friends. They're pros. Like, we want to get out at Stadium. And he said, no problem. Sent us out there. stadium's hard, right? Like stadium's a
Yeah.
hard golf course for
Yeah.
anyone. And we're out there and it's like a steady 3, sometimes 4 club win the whole day. Greens are running at 1,000,000. Like the sign said they were running 12.
Yeah.
I
Because
mean-
they're on that course, there's like a lot of elevated and then a lot of ones that are like cupped and kind of facing the west. So they just take the wind and it's fast as fuck, right?
Yeah, you had that knowledge. We didn't. We just couldn't friggin' putt that day. But what happens is, there's 4 of us, and we decide, I'm the only amateur golfer in the group. We got 3 pros and me, and I thought, let's film everything. I'll figure out what to do with the footage later. But by the time we're on like the 4th hole, and all of us have 3 putted twice already, like it just turned into a shit show. And like sometimes, I try to basically post every round I film. And that's why there's about 60 in the backlog right now. But that was the kind of day, and we had one today too, right? Where like you're looking at one another, and it's like, it's not that I'm afraid to show a bad round, but there's got to be something compelling. And like, is there anything compelling about 4 guys just having their fucking asses handed to them at
dude.
PGA West? And like,
Yeah. I mean,
It was even after the first hole. The first hole, scrambling, trying to read putts, filming 4 people. That was not smart. We shouldn't have done that. But after I was like, dude, you're a net scratch golfer with all this YouTube shit you have to do, and filming from the right angles and different cameras and gimbals and then just thinking about all the variables. Like it is very impressive. What he does. And I was lost on the 7th hole of that round. I was like, I don't know if I should play golf anymore. I don't know if I should do any content anymore because there's just so much going on, right? And that was a mistake.
well, I mean, if you're not used to it, it definitely adds strokes, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
Just because you're like nervous about hitting it. Even today, there was one where there was like, I think it was like the first time I noticed that you had been, I think I had put my camera away at that point. Like you were like, I don't remember what I was doing. Maybe I was like driving downwind or something, but I had internally put a little pressure on myself. I was like, oh shit, actually this is a little tough. I'd rather hit in front of like 1,000 people than the one camera.
well, I'll tell you where I think I lose the most strokes on camera, and it's funny. It's putting, which is usually the only place where I'm gaining strokes on anyone. And here's a little weird one. So no matter what golf content you put on YouTube, I found, like whether it's a round where I shoot a career best or a career worst, you're going to have 10 guys who say it's dishonest. You cheated somehow.
Yeah.
So I hope anyone watching my channel knows, like, I post a round where I shot 106. I'm not cheating. But I got, and it's stuck with me. Sometimes I'm insecure about the fact that, the camera's stationary, I hit a putt. If I want to go mark the ball, then when I go to replace it and my camera's still in the same place, the ball might be, a millimeter away.
Yeah.
And I think to myself,
A blade of grass or two off. Yeah.
right? So some guy's going to inevitably comment, oh, this guy obviously took that, hit that putt again. So what I do is sometimes I go, okay, I'll walk up to it and finish it just so the ball didn't move. But like 4-footers, you got to.
Yeah, the 4-footers, it's hard to do that unless you really know how to do it.
Yeah, and then sometimes I go up and then of course I'm that asshole in the group who's finishing out while someone else is waiting to putt. So I kind of go up to it, okay, let me just finish it and get out of the way and get the camera out.
Yeah,
of the way,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I miss the fucking putt.
Yeah.
And like that's not once a round, but it might be every other round. So okay, over the course of a season there went like 20 strokes.
Right.
There's 0.1 off my handicap. Not that I actually care about these things.
Yeah.
But it's just funny to me. Like I always think people ask me, it's a common question. Like, is it harder? Do you lose stroke? Like, are you worse on camera? And I always think to myself, well, yeah, I often don't go through my putting routine because I'm just trying to get the F off the green.
That's funny. So I can relate to that because in tournaments, I hate marking anything inside of about 3 feet. And it's the only time I'll do it is when I'm for sure going to step on someone's line or where I'm not quite sure if it's going to break, not break, whatever, or like how I want to hit the putt. But it's funny because my Veronica caddies for me, and she gets real nervous because what will happen is, and you played with me enough now to know that like I take aggressive putting lines. I'm not like a die putter. So, and I do that because I'm always fine with it. I don't even care if it rolls by like 5 feet because you just watched it miss a lip and then die at a speed where right then you saw the line. You just have to adjust that for whether you're coming back up or downhill. And it's an easy adjustment and it's fresh in your head. I will go up to it immediately and put it back in because now you don't have to, you're not waiting a couple minutes and then you don't have to redraw the picture in your head. You just go up and finish it. And I will do that 100,000 times. And what's funny is the one time I will fucking fuck it up, I've got to playing competitors will be like, dude, just take your time, bro. Just take your time. Everything's cool. And I'm like, no, I fuck one of those up every now and then, but I'm going to make way more than I do. But it's a funny thing because as soon as I put the camera on, I'm just like, I don't want to slow up the guys I just got paired with or whoever's with me. And I go up there and I'm not paying attention because I'm looking over at the camera and getting it. So I don't have the same data point that I do when I'm in a tournament. Right. And I fucking blow those up so many. I did it like twice today. I was just like, dude, this is so annoying.
It's a hard game.
Yeah. I mean, the filming aspect of it is funny. But then the other part of it is the major problem is, dude, I watch vlog. Like I will constantly like watch other folks' course vlogs where they're doing the same thing. They have the camera behind them. It's stationary. They're doing it. And dude, there are a lot of guys who are clearly like hitting a putt or a shot. Like that's not where the ball, like they're off by a lot. But you know what gives them away? The shadows on the ground. So they will walk up and you could see, they'll leave the flag in and you could see where the shadow is when they hit their chip. And then all of a sudden now they're hitting their putt and their shadows moved like the amount that it would take like 5 minutes. So this guy's like hitting the same 12-foot putt over and over. Like it's very obvious. Like the guy, and they're always by themselves. Like this never happens when they're with other people. You see all the shit and you're just like, God, dude, this guy like just missed the putt, dude. It's okay to shoot 78. Like so, nobody's gonna get mad at you.
I think that dovetails into what a lot.
So I can see why people would assume the same thing of you.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy. But this relates to what we were talking about earlier. I think so much of YouTube golf, and I love a lot of YouTube golf, but there is a huge subset of YouTube golf that's basically guys just, it doesn't seem like they want to be engaged with their audience. It's like a personal, like narcissistic thing of like, look how good I am at golf, right? And it's like, it takes a lot of people who are learning to play, and it doesn't turn them off of golf, but it gives them a very unrealistic view of what golf looks like.
Right.
And it sucks.
Yeah. It's not good because we were talking about this earlier in that you were saying, or wait, what did Gordon say? We were talking about how, this is interesting because obviously people, you know, you're gonna share this around a little bit, and folks are gonna come over to listen to you that watch you pretty regularly. I'm actually curious from them to expound upon why I see so many of these comments that say like, dude, I'm like, relatable golf is the word or the phrase that I constantly see in the comments on your stuff, like relatable golf. I don't see it in Golf Sidekicks. It's funny, or he's a broski, or like I would love to have that guy as a friend. Those, you get those comments too, but the one I see that's dominant over the others is it's like relatable golf. And Gordon said the exact same thing, which is, you know, you watch this guy swing and you're like, oh fuck, he fucked that shot up, or he yanked that drive, or you know, he flubbed that chip or whatever. And then you get to the end of 9 holes and you're only like 2 over.
Sometimes anyway. Yeah.
Well, I mean, dude, like a lot of the time, like you'll get, or what you'll see more often than not is you'll start out a round and you'll be like 6 over, and then all of a sudden you finish 2 over.
Yeah.
So and that is relatable because there are lots of guys that just like, when you see a pro with like square, circle, square, circle, square, everybody has something to say about that when they analyze it because they're like, oh, dude, he's all over the place. But like, if you play golf a lot, like I'm sure Gordon, a lot of your rounds look like that. Like there's a lot of square, circle, and you're like 1 or 2 over.
Especially coming back from injury and trying to figure things out. And yes, yeah, for sure. Yeah, golf's crazy, and there's such a fine line between sometimes a birdie and a bogey. So
get in that mic. Just
Oh, I'm here.
yeah,
Make
there,
love
you
to
go.
that
There you go.
microphone.
Oh,
Yeah.
you got to almost touch your lips on it, eh?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I hit it with a little sanitizer
like
or my balls. So there might be a reason why I'm telling you to do it.
It reminds me of like a freestyle rap video that you see in the studio, right?
Yeah, you're
They're
just
in there.
Just get in it.
Got it.
You can also kind of like put it to the side a little bit,
Oh, okay.
like I'm kind of doing. So
yeah.
you could talk across the front of it.
Yeah, then I can see your arm.
Yeah, you can see
okay.
a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's golf YouTube is interesting. But dude, I want to know, like, when are you going to hire an editor? You have 60 rounds in the can or whatever.
I do. It's more than that. I'm sorry, Alina. I hired Alina. Alina, it was like the perfect hire. She's my first hire for the channel.
Okay.
I shopped around a while for an editor because, like, the big thing is, right, the video is my product. So it's not like hiring.
That's the hard part,
right?
right? It's thumbprinted with, like, it's hard to, like, I would imagine, let that go. I haven't done it. I do all my own stuff, and I would hate the idea of it.
Yeah, it's not like hiring a marketing intern or like an agent, right?
Yeah.
It's like, this is my product. So I was really careful. Like, I interviewed, I talked to lots of people, and Alina was the best, right? She was I shouldn't give away too much here, I suppose, but she was doing a very awesome job at a very high profile social media / media generally job.
Okay.
Looking basically to get out of that and to get involved with people like me. And she also played college golf.
Okay.
So it's like she had the skill set on the video editing side.
Yeah,
that
she
I
knows-
certainly don't.
knows
She's
how
actually the
golf
opposite
works.
of me. She's a great golfer and a great video editor. I'm mediocre at both of those, and maybe that's the appeal. But yeah, then you know what? It's tough to get her to do it my way. And I'm out playing golf and banking footage. It's been a total mess. The last 8 months, I would have loved to. Like, when I started the channel, I was releasing 8 videos a month. Then I went
Okay.
down to 6. I figured 6 was better. The quality of them was a bit better. Now, like, man, there's months. Like, I think the last 2 months, I've released like 6 videos total. The good news is, as my video editing skills have gotten better and as I'm leaning on Alina, all this footage I have in the bank, when it does come out, they're going to be better videos than what I have released.
Yeah. Okay, so she's still around. You haven't canned her.
I haven't.
Oh, you said sorry.
I
so
said
thought-
sorry that I haven't given her.
Oh, you're
the-
just Canadian, so you said sorry. I gotcha.
No, she might can me for all I know because I just haven't been giving her the work. But when the videos come out, they're going to be great. There's drone footage, all sorts of cool stuff that hasn't been in there before. It'll still be here's a round of golf pretty quickly, which I think is also important. People seem to like that.
Yeah.
But like what I'd love to do is lean in on the narration more. People really like hearing like kind of what's on the back of the mind of not a scratch golfer. And I also just, full transparency. I'd love my priority to be hooking up with good sponsors for my videos so that I'm not like kind of scraping by to do this. I want to be basically focusing on the content and let everything else take care of itself.
Yeah.
So hopefully, 2023 goals. It's already February, but
Dude, it is already the end of February. We're like staring it in the face. And then what about you, Gordon? Have you done any of the being on camera stuff prior to hooking up with Adam, or?
A little, yeah. And this goes back to you asked me like, who are you? And then we got
Yeah,
off
dude,
on a tangent.
that's going to happen a lot, by the way. So feel
yeah.
free to bring it back around anytime you want.
No, it's totally fine. I know this is about Adam and you, and yeah,
No.
I'm
No. There's 3 of us here, dude. We urinated next to each other on a golf course. That makes us like brothers almost.
Golf. And what's the story? We got to tell that story. The guy that caught the other guy urinating on the golf
Oh,
course. And what did he
yeah.
say? This is good.
I-
We're allowed
I-
to talk about that on this
Yeah. Oh,
podcast?
for sure. You could say dick, pussy. You could say it
Penis.
all. Shit.
penis.
The Canadian guys swearing. There's no. The FCC doesn't give a shit what we're doing. Yeah, I had exposed these guys to probably something I'm sure everybody's seen, but the new gag now is when you see your buddy pissing on a golf course, you walk by him and say, "Yo, dude, that's illegal." And then he goes, "Huh?" You go, "A grown man's hands on a little boy's penis."
And that is true.
It's so good.
It's
so good.
But wait, we were gonna do Gordon who you are, but also I think we want to know who you are. I think everyone wants to know who you are. But I think I also want to tee up after you've formally introduced yourself. I think a lot of people think this guy has a swing coach, and we got to plug in for them a whole bunch of things about how Well, you're not my swing coach. You're my life coach and spiritual guru.
I love it. That is funny. Yeah, I know.
He's getting no business if you market him as your
Exactly.
swing coach, dude. Now flail.
Exactly. Yeah, I taught him that. That was mine for such a long time. Worked so well. Yeah, no, it's funny because I think I was saying, he wanted to actually. We started to do all of our playing together right after he had his surgery, and I saw him come in to a lesson, 1 month, and the next month, the change was ridiculous. He looked like that lamp that you have on right now. Oh, it's pink now, but it was like a yellow orange. Yeah. And then I saw him come in.
You were
later.
still like jaundiced when you came in.
He was fried.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I did not look like a person who should be living.
No, it was awful. And
Yeah.
then what was crazy is he was scheduled for another lesson. It was like maybe his third lesson or whatever. And his mom called in and said that he can't make it. and
Americans,
he's not
mom
gonna make
is
it.
Canadian for mom. Actually, it's
Did
the
I
rest.
say mum? M-U-M?
Yeah, but it's
That's
the rest
funny.
of the world. That's how they call it.
Mummy-
Everybody
mummy.
outside the United States. I think.
Got it. So,
So-
his mummy called. Just met her. I think for a second. She's sweet. But anyway, she said he's kind of not going to make it. And I was like, to the lesson, like, is he going to die? And it was
He's not gonna make it.
It was kind of both.
Yeah, it was. It was
Yeah.
serious.
Oh, wow.
Shit was real.
Which was just shocking and crazy. And I thought, I won't be able to sell this guy any more lessons. No, I'm just joking. No.
Shit, I had this guy.
Yeah, damn it.
No, anyway, he and then yeah, what was awesome is he hit us up I guess a few weeks or a month later, came in and he looked like a different person, and it was just so cool to see, and he seemed pumped and happy and not in pain anymore and not all these terrible things, and
More pink than yellow now.
yes.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I just want to play golf. Like, come play golf. He bought a bunch of lessons, and he's like, let's just go play. And I'm like, dude, your swing is awful. Like, but yeah, sure. And then it was so cool because he was trying to get a reasonable swing, for the long clubs and stuff. And we managed to put enough Band-Aids on it that he got a game. And then what was it? Within a year, you went from a 20-something to a 6.
Yeah. I think when I first had a handicap, it was like 22, 23.
Mm-hmm.
And then, by the end of the next year, so a year and a half, I was like, I think a 7.
Unreal. And part of it is he was playing a lot, but there's a lot to talk about there. I'll try to break down a few things right now from my perspective. So number one, his entire stomach was cut to change out his liver. Like how wide is the scar?
Oh, it's gnarly, dude.
It's the entire, it's a foot long.
Yeah, more.
When you really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you from a biomechanical perspective there and physiological, you're cutting fascia and core muscles completely apart to do this.
Jesus.
Yeah, so it's not like he was an athletic freak before, even though I have seen film of him water skiing, which is very impressive. But you never played many hand-eye coordination sports in your life, right?
Ping pong.
Okay, that's huge. That's your chipping, putting, small ball stuff, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so you
That's
got
illegal.
What did I say something wrong?
No, that's never mind.
Okay,
Go ahead.
We'll keep going. I'm innocent. So that was a part of the thing too. I remember you coming in and we were out there. I'm like, should you even be out here? Like you still have blood coming out of that scar.
Yeah, they
almost.
didn't want me out there actually.
Yeah.
But I was like, fuck off, come on.
Yeah, and then you said well, it's kind of core work or walking, whatever. So you obviously lived. But yeah, he had that. Kind of just had a good chipping, stroke mechanics, and then so we slowly band-aided it up and off he went. And the low inside takeaway. So first off, there are fantastic golfers in the history of the game that have won at this tournament we have on TV here that whipped it inside. And so part of it is my own coaching. And by the way, I've been coaching for about a decade. Done some biomechanics and swing instruction with all different types of instructors, and lived with some and stayed with some for months or weeks or even years. Been lucky to have done that. I'm kind of obsessed, and I bug people till they kind of open up, I think. But my goal has just been I want to be able to help as many people as I can, and I also want to help myself. That's kind of where it started, but I like working with people. But anyway. So I've done kind of a lot in the golf industry as far as golf swing mechanics goes. It's kind of what I'm known for. There's along with thousands of other guys now, which is so cool. But anyway, yeah, I've worked with some people on the PGA Tour, people that have got their Corn Ferry Tour cards, Canadian Tour cards, guys on the Sunshine Tour, Japan Tour, yada, yada, yada.
Liver transplant recipient golfers.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube stars, Gordon.
Hey, that's my new thing. It's awesome. Yeah. No, it's been fun. But yeah, and then I teach up in Canada at McCleary Golf Academy currently. I teach out of my backyard. I'm on Skillist as an instructor doing online lessons and subscriptions there for people that want to gain monthly. And then, yeah, just on Instagram for the last like 5-6 years. And yeah, that's kind of my thing. Do a little bit of everything, work with a little bit of everybody. And yeah, and Adam's been a riot. So where were we? Because there was somewhere we were going with all this as
you
well.
were going to tell
describing your game.
Yeah, my shit.
Okay.
Like sneaky, not so bad game kind of.
Correct. So here's the main thing is your impact.
Why do I feel like whenever we talk about your game, it's like we're taking subtle shots, but like not really.
You know what?
Like I'm not doing it on purpose.
Well, okay, I'll say this. I want my ego stroked. I'm fascinated to hear what Gordon has to say in a sec. But just like zooming back, like everyone golfs, I've found like it's really interesting. A lot of people, golf is a thing. We get the bug, right? But people are playing for very different reasons. Mm-hmm. And you've already heard sort of a bit about, my sickness and surgery and all this stuff. I found golf while I was very sick. And I'd always played pitch and putt. But like golf to me was like, oh, that's something that like, I don't know, either old people do or athletes do. Like not something that I do. But then while I was sick, one of the only things I did that somehow successfully distracted me from like really crippling, like
pain,
would-be terminal illness, like bad stuff, was being on the golf course. And this is while I was living in the Bay Area, right? I was a San Francisco resident, got my resident card. And one day I was dating a girl who was really active and it was like, what can we do together? I'm sick. And we said, well, let's go to the golf course. And we go to Harding Park on our, $50 resident green fee. And I was like, whoa, this is cool. I like being here. And holy shit, I don't feel sick.
You're
here.
right, yeah.
And that's what golf was to me. I was like, I just love being out here. And yeah, like obviously you don't want to shoot 120. So like I had some semblance of like wanting to get better at golf. But golf wasn't like this dedication to like get to a certain level at golf. I just liked being on the golf course. And to like a large extent, that's still why I'm out there. And so I think a lot of people also like see the channel, they see the Now Flail, and they're like, why don't you want to, like, aren't you going to get better? Like you're out there doing this. And I'm like, like the getting better part, that's work. Like I just want to be on the golf course. And then I got guys like Gordon stroking my ego being like, for all the shitty things you do, there's some things here that are good, and that's why you're not bad. So then it becomes this like equation of how much do I want to change to be better, and how much do I even care about being better?
Right.
But before I go further down that rabbit hole, I was curious. There's a narcissistic element of wanting to hear Gordon describe what's good, but I think it's
Gordon,
also
blow him. Let's go, blow him.
But I think this is actually also interesting for viewers, right? Because there's so much ignorance, and I'm one of the ignorant people. Like I don't know how a golf swing works, but people like they watch the PGA Tour and they think like, oh, to get good at this, your swing needs to look like Adam Scott, which is like, depending on what your definition of good is, it's not true. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now.
No, I love it. You're doing a great job at framing all this, and yeah, so there's so much to unpack here. There really is. But I think that ultimately what comes down to, he does a lot of things extremely poorly. But what matters is impact. When the club meets the ball, what matters is the ball flight and the consistency and the game that we play and hitting the ball in the air and controlling the flight. And the cool thing is when you take, I look at slow motion footage of swings all the time. My phone, I couldn't even barely come on this trip and film anything because I've got so many screenshots, so much, just slow-mo video of pros, of my students, of people that are looking to work, whatever. And I've been obsessed with that for probably 15, 20 years now, just going a little bit crazy with that. And so when you look at his position 6, or like when he's coming down, kind of when the club's parallel to the ground and through impact, he's doing a lot of things that these guys do, just a lot slower. And there are inconsistencies because of how much he flails in the backswing. And yeah, his backswing is trash. It's actually like, and it's a combination of trashy things where he can get it back to reasonable. So there's so many things you have to balance the scales in a golf swing to make it functional. And he does a few things really bad, but they kind of match up in a sense. And then I don't know where you got some of these like abilities to rotate your hips so well sometimes, and to like we have worked on things in the past. We've worked on turning, we've worked on like getting the club in the slot, yada yada. And then you played a lot. And honestly, hitting enough bad shots, and as long as you kind of have a little bit of awareness of what to do, you're gonna get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's played. How many times have you played in the last 4 or 5 years?
Dude, I've got the spreadsheet. So since my surgery, which was in, oh no, actually the spreadsheet started about 6 months before my surgery. So mid 2017, I've played, like, I can pull it up, and it's just shy of 1,100 rounds.
Whoa.
Why? Wait a minute. What possessed you to create a spreadsheet to track that? Are you just a data guy?
Yeah. So, I mean, like, it's not like I have some skill for, data analyst. There you go. That's how much I know. But I found, like, so in America, right, we use GIN, or GHIN. In Canada, we use Golf Canada. And both of those things, like, I input all the data. Like, for every round, I do, like, the hole-by-hole score. Did I hit the fairway? Did I hit the green? Blah, blah, blah. And they produce, like, some graphs and charts. But, like, the most sophisticated thing they have to sort of track your progression is just, like, what's your handicap history?
Right, yeah.
And I was like, well, I want to see more than that. I want to see, like, all of these things, like, yeah, what parts of my game are improving? What's my, green and regulation percentage progression? What's this and that? So all the same data I was throwing into there, I just put in a spreadsheet, and then I created some graphs of it. Like, one thing I like seeing is, my trending, my average differential of my last 10 rounds trending, because that gives me a better sense than just my handicap progression. So anyway.
Sure. Yeah, because it's unique to the course you're playing, not just
right, well, as an example,
any course.
Like, as an example too, right? Like, I my handicap index through the year usually fluctuates between like 5 and 9. But my average differential over my last 10 rounds usually hovers like between like 9 and 11. So that's, like, I think a lot of people don't understand, like, a 6 handicap doesn't just go out and shoot 78 every day. His average score is probably like 83 or like whatever the hell it is, right? But I forgot why we were on this. So obviously one of the things I have in there is just the total rounds played, and I could pull it up, but it's just shy of 1,100. It's like 1,085.
6 years?
Yeah, about that. Played a lot of golf.
So, back to Adam's golf swing. Hey, you just kind of answered one of the questions, like, why have you gotten down to a single digit? And you've kind of reached your, with the golf swing that you have, and kind of the skills and the work that you've put into your game, you've kind of, that's your peak. Like that, like, not to be, but you're okay with that.
Totally.
Unless we do some significant intervention, you know what I mean? Or you all of a sudden become like a +5 level putter. What is your handicap putting and short game? Because this is interesting for the viewers to know and see.
Yeah,
and,
I used
realize.
Arcos for Arcos is really cool. I think
I've used it too. In fact, I probably did the most improvement in my own game based off the data I got from using it for like 6 months.
Yeah,
like,
it's
religiously.
For people out there who are like data junkies, Arcos is so cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. I would say the number one thing it does is break down each part, just like Gordon mentioned. It breaks down each part of your game, not in strokes gains, but it like.
It kind of does.
No, it does. Yeah.
Well, it does,
Yeah.
but it also gives you a handicap based on each individual part of your game, whether it's putting, chipping, sand game, driving the ball, all of that. Which is way easier to understand, I think, for anybody aside from having to understand how strokes games worked.
Yeah, totally. And that's the thing. Like, a lot of people think it's just, okay, like, how far do you hit each club? And it's like, you got a sense of that pretty quickly. But what you just said is exactly what I valued it for most. So I haven't used it for a while, to be honest, because I have in my putter, I have a counter, a weight, in the grip.
Yep.
That makes it hard to use
to screw in the tracker.
Yeah, and
the sensor.
Yeah, they make an attachment for it. I just haven't gotten it. But anyhow, the last time I used it, my putting handicap, like they do it for each round and then trending. But like I'm a +1 or +2 putter.
Sure.
And yeah, I mean, that goes a long way, right? If you can like drive the ball like a 10 handicap, which I do, and then putt like a +2, you're a single digit unless you spraying balls OB. So yeah, my putting handicap is usually like between scratch and like +2 or something.
Mm-hmm. that equalizes quite a few of the things that go wrong with his irons and hooking driver lately. But it's so neat. So with him and his golf swing lately, like just kind of got back into like, hey, dude, like it's going so south, and I would just want to enjoy my time on the golf course again. You know what I mean? Because he got to a good level. I think it was kind of neat. Like I remember playing with you, I think 3 or 4 years ago, and you were hitting drives like that carried 240, 250, and or maybe 35, and got out to those numbers, right? And
the funny thing is, this guy at like once a round will just uncork one.
It's crazy,
dude. You outdrove me one time, like by like 10 yards, and I was like, "Where the fuck? Like, how can you not do that all the time?"
Because I have a bad golf swing. But yeah. But yeah.
There's good and bad in there, right?
Well,
it's
dog
really
shit mostly. Okay.
So where was I going with a few different points there? Can you lighten me, Adam?
I don't know. I was enjoying being filleted like this, but
well, we should start maybe saying some bad things then.
Yeah.
Well, okay, within his golf swing, like, yeah, I was saying good players whip it inside, but not a lot of players reverse their spine angle in the backswing such that he kind of like moves further away from the ball and his knees go towards the ball and the club goes inside and his arms break. And it's like he might as well not even have arms. They're like wet noodles, right? But then he gets back into his posture, back into a good place, and has all these good things going on. And you know what? Like you said, you sometimes will create tags and create pictures, or what's it called?
Yeah, the YouTube thumbnail. This is the only thing I've ever noticed about my golf swing that looks cool. Mm-hmm. Because like I usually for the thumbnail, I like having a shot paused like at impact. Mm-hmm. And I notice I play with a lot of guys who like I don't have the knowledge you do of the golf swing. So to me, I look at their swing and I'm like, the tempo's good, they have speed. But then when it pauses at impact, I do notice like, oh yeah, like I'm in some position at impact that you can say,
yeah,
it looks good.
His belt buckle's forward.
Correct.
His impact position is his head. He's slightly behind it. The club is at the right angle. Yep. It looks like if you take, like what you said, basically any pro and pause their impact position, at least down the line like that, it looks like everyone else's. It does. That's the funny thing is like you talk all this shit about like, oh my, like even in the headlines, you're like, oh shoot, break 80 with this bullshit swing, right? Yeah. And then the fucking the screenshot of it is like perfection at impact. Like he's not off balance. Like, dude. My iron swing is not my driver swing. My driver swing, my feet are like Scotty Scheffler. They're all over the fucking place.
Baseball.
So it's up on my toes, like ridiculous. So like if I look like that, I will never look like what you look like at. I mean, I would have to do significant work to get there. But it's funny because I wonder if people see that. They're like, what is this fucking guy talking about?
They
and then they hit play.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, now I get it.
I don't want to bite the hand that feeds me, which are my viewers, and like people are cool. But it is funny that like, people, I don't get it. So it's not that I think I know more than them, but I also know that they don't get it. Right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Like there's just, go ahead, Gordon.
Well, there's something really important here. There's a secret that Adam's actually employed to get that impact position.
It's called
a good coach.
Yeah.
Oh. Now flail.
So that's been my big thing with him when we were playing. And this is actually so interesting. I tell this story a lot because I had to come up with this on the spot. But he's like, why do sometimes I make like a bad swing, you know, that I kind of defined for him like, hey, like you just did the thing at impact that we like and you just didn't. He's like, well, why does sometimes I make like a good swing but I get a bad result? And sometimes I have kind of my old, like, crappy swing, and I hit it pretty decent. And I was like, holy, like, how do I describe that?
Brain.
Yeah, and
I love your analogy for this, by the way. So
yeah, well, I don't know. I played some Yahtzee growing up and some stuff with dice, I guess, because I was like, you know what? It's kind of like you have two different die or dice. And one is the one that you intend where you're not very much scared. You go through your routine. You have a good swing thought, or it's simple and you're external, and you throw your better die, and it's got numbers on it. So 6 would represent a great shot, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 down to complete dog shit. So the good die has, say, 2 6s, 2 5s, a 4, and a 2. Is that enough numbers?
Yeah.
So
sure.
and then your bad die is either when like you're scared of water, you didn't go through your routine, you kind of forget a swing cue, or you're too much in your head or something. And that die is your crap die, and it's got a 5, a 4, 3 2s and a 1 or whatever. So it's got lower numbers, worse shots. So our goal is just to take our better die and throw it, but there's still a 2 on there, right? And if you have a scared, you know what I mean? Your other die, your crappy die, you could throw it and get a good result out of it, right? So anyway, I told him that, and I was like, wow, like that was actually a reasonable explanation here, because there's so many things that need to match up in the golf swing: contact, path, face, low point. And sometimes crap matches up.
Yeah.
Or the wind takes it, or it hits a rock or whatever, right? There's different external circumstances. But even we're watching Brooks Koepka right now. He's got one of the most stable, unreal. He's got a weird swing. This is actually kind of interesting. It's completely different to yours too. He picks it up. He's got high hands, and then he reroutes it, and he slides a lot, whereas you do other things. He has, there's some guys on here, the best swings. You could watch Rory McIlroy play around a golf, and he says, I only hit 5 shots how I truly intended. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even people, there's Tiger, even people that have kind of the best functional swing you can have, human error, lie angles, you know what I mean? Rates of closure of the club face, slight changes in where it impacts the face, it's going to affect everything. So with, I gave that analogy for him, and I love it. And I tell it to people all the time, and that keeps our brain not from overworking and not to get too pissed off, because it's like, hey, it happens.
Yeah.
Good and bad.
I want to talk about being pissed off and bad shots for a sec. I forget who it was. You probably know. It might have been Hogan who said, like, he doesn't let bad shots get to him because he know he's going to hit like 7 bad golf shots around, right? So one of the stats I try to put at the end of every video. For one thing I do is I do green light drives.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like doing fairway and regulation. You don't need to be on the fairway on courses we play.
Right.
Like,
yeah. No.
a green light drive is one that like set you up to hit a green in regulation, right? So that's one I keep. But then I also track how many bad shots did I hit in the round, right? And like, obviously that's subjective, but like, you chunk a chip, it's a bad shot. You hit it, you snap.
It's like you fuck the swing up, and for me, I consider a bad shot like when I didn't execute the swing how I would want to.
Sure.
Like, so, I mean, you can thin it and get away, but it's a bad, like, I don't think about bad shots. I think about bad swings.
Sure.
And in fact, I think I do a video where I don't keep score. Mm-hmm. I just grade my shot as a X or a check mark. Cool. Like, check mark is I executed that swing how I'm supposed to, which for me, it's just 3 simple things. One is stay balanced. Mm-hmm. Good tempo, which means come to the top and transition and go back down. And
contact?
Yes. Watch the club hit the ball.
Oh, cool.
As long as I do all that, it doesn't matter how I finish. The finish is almost automatic after those 3 things. So as long as I do those 3 things, the last thing I think is right before I pull it back is like, don't care where it goes.
Cool.
Just do those 3 things. I will execute that, and I'm always hitting good shots. When I don't do those things, get too quick, fall out of balance, it's because I'm not thinking about doing those. Right? So you forget one, and then you fuck it up, and then it's a bad shot. So whatever that is, like, it's such a much better, I agree with you, it's such a much better way to think about it, because that's the stuff you have ultimate control over. Right? Your bad shot is not a results thing. I would imagine it's an effort thing, right?
And then, I try to keep track of that. And like, I would say this is a bit of a stab in the dark, but I could go through my videos. In a typical round, I usually hit anywhere between about 10 and 16 bad shots. That's like a lot of bad shots. It's usually like between half and 1 per hole.
Yeah.
But I can, like, some of my career best rounds, which to me is like anything below like 75 for me, is like, I played really well for me. And in those rounds, there's still 12 bad golf shots.
Right.
So this ties back to like, what does a swing look like? And, oh my God, you knocked it around, you still made bogey, whatever. And it's like, yeah, man, like, this is a hard game. It's not the way it looks on TV.
Yeah.
You're going to hit a lot of bad golf shots. And like, the key is, what did you do after? And like, I'll say, I was saying to a friend the other day, Gordon, I've never seen someone's temperament. So like, when Gordon hits a bad shot, he doesn't even take the 1 second that I take to go like, whatever. Gordon just kind of stares at it and studies it like it was like, oh, like, yeah, this is an experiment that went wrong. And he, like, immediately I watch him like, oh, cool, that was different. Like, what happened there? So I'm not quite that cool as a cucumber, but like by the time I'm hitting the next shot, I didn't think about how my ball got to where it was.
It's back to executing whatever it is you have to execute.
Yeah, it's the next shot is the next challenge. And so Gordon and I went in LA. We watched, Thursday at the Genesis. I'd never seen a PGA tournament in person.
Oh, really? That was the first one?
That was my first one. And it was, oh man, I had really high expectations for it. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
Can I tell you something? Just advice. Go, like, put in the effort, go to a Ryder Cup.
Yeah, I can see why that
just
would
go
be
to
awesome.
a Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
I fucked myself because I went to one, and now I think every other golf tournament sucks compared to it. But like, I would love for you, having only gone to like one, or maybe you go to two by the time one rolls around, but go to a Ryder Cup and like experience that. I would love to. It would be an experiment on my part to be like sending a newbie to these things.
Yeah,
but
I don't need more convincing to watch more professional golf. And yeah, a Ryder Cup would sound
You're
really
in?
cool. Yeah, I know I'm in.
that's cool, dude. Awesome. Were you guys there all day?
Yeah, we got there. We got there like 10 or 11, and we left like when we could no longer see golf. I think everyone had holed out. But anyhow,
Dude, sorry, I know you're making a point, but I had no idea that was the first one.
yeah. I mean, the thing is, right? I've only been into golf for this handful now, like 5-6 years. Before that, golf was nothing to me. So
Yeah. Just a bunch of dweebs. We were
yeah.
all dorks, Gordon. Just dorks in polo shirts.
I am, so it's okay. I'm a golf geek. Through.
So one thing, I mean, I did see actually, to be honest, more negative. This isn't the main point I was going to make, but I saw more negative reactions to some shots than I thought I would. Like, man, there were times I sat on 18 for a bit, and anyone who missed that green long, fuck, they were hooped. They were
Yeah.
They
Because
were
it's straight downhill. It's all rolling away from them.
Yeah.
Fucked, yeah.
And so I saw a few guys there. Firstly, it was cool to have to watch a guy so good look at that shot and be like, shit, like I just have to chunk and run it. Like that's the shot here. And I watched,
they have like a 15-foot putt coming back like at best.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, like that was the thing. Like the odd guy would get one like still to like 3 feet, and I was like, wow. But like a lot of them, right? Like 3/4 of the guys who did that, yeah, like 10 feet was a great result. And I saw a few of them negatively react to that, and I thought to myself, like, God, these guys are good enough to know like that's what was going to happen there. But the flip side of that was every single time I watched a guy then get to a ball that they were pissed off with the way it got there, their pre-shot routine was like they're putting for eagle for the win. It's always just like, okay, here's where my ball is, and now I'm going through everything. There's no amount of like,
I'm giving up. Not a lot of give up, right?
None. And even if it was a guy who was like obvious on day one, like probably not going to make the cut, they still got to every ball as though, like starting from scratch. And I thought that was really cool to watch. And it's something I hope to take away from it, that like, us today, we were playing in ridiculous conditions. And how many times today I can speak for myself that like, I've hacked my way up the hole and now I have 9 feet for bogey, and like I just went up to it and hit it.
Yeah.
And they never, like I didn't see them do that one time. And I thought that was really cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine, like, just playing in competitive tournaments as I do, you learn very quick that literally every stroke, like, you will not know that you're in contention, like, on, like, the second or third day of a tournament. You won't know that you're, like, in contention because you don't have boards and stuff like that. And, like, you'll give up on one shot or one chip or something, and then when you lose the tournament by one, that's the only time you ever need to have that happen once, and then you're like, I'm never fucking doing that again.
Well, here's a tournament anecdote I have. Actually, Gordon and I were playing in this together, that tournament, the VGT tournament at RCC.
Yes.
In like
that was a lot of acronyms there.
The Vancouver Golf Tour tournament at Richmond Country Club.
Okay.
Cool golf course, actually. I like that golf course. And man, like shy of some of the rounds we've played on this trip, that was the most wind I'd ever played in.
Oh yeah, that was bonkers. I'm surprised they let it go.
Me too. Yeah, no, it was a joke. Like they moved us up to the white tees on, like they had it 3 flights, 0 to 5 cap, 5 to 10, 10 plus, I think. And I'm in, the B flight 5 to 10. And they moved us up to the white tees on this course that were like 5,700 yards. And they had flight A at those tees as well.
Yeah.
And it was so windy. It was a joke.
Yeah.
And, I struggled like everyone did. I carded like an 82. And I remember thinking at the end of the day, 82 from 5,700 yards, that's not a good day. But it's not the worst day. Like, I didn't embarrass myself.
Yeah.
And I turned in my card to the guy we figured out.
You're probably fucking first, right?
Dude, so the guy comes back to me like a minute later, and he's like, congrats, you won. And I was like, won what?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I guess I got, low net in my flight. And
You won the raffle.
No, he goes, you won low gross. And I was like, no, I didn't. And he goes, you didn't just win low gross for flight B, you won low gross for all AMs. There was there weren't 100 people in this tournament, there were 30, but nonetheless, not a single person in A flight handicap 0 to 5 was better than 82 from the whites. And the craziest part was, in my own group, I guess I lied. Another guy shot 82, and he was in my group. And so their tiebreaker, retrogression or whatever they call it, was what score you made on 18. So he had bogeyed 18, an easy par 5. I had parred it. And he was more dejected than I was during the roundabout, just how poorly he was playing given the conditions.
Right.
And on 18, he just kind of mailed it in and made a bogey.
Right.
And in hindsight, oops. He
Yeah.
lost.
Dude.
I won the tournament. He didn't.
Dude, there's a guy, he's on this show all the time. We call him Cart Girl Kev, but his name is, oh no. Sorry, hold on. We have technical issues here.
I might take this moment to step out for 1 minute.
Here, I'll pause it and figure out what I'm doing here. All right. We had to take a little pee break there. We're good. We're back. Dude, so Riv. So after Riv, all right, we're done. We spent like an hour filleting Adam. He's drained. He's empty. He's empty. It smells bad in here.
No more words. He has no more words.
That's rare for me.
So you guys go to Riv. So first off, I'm fascinated by this boys trip because I take a lot of them with my friends. We do a lot of the same things. There's a lot of golf. We get involved in poker games. One of us idiots say like, "Oh, dude, there's a casino nearby," and then, we make the trip more expensive than it needs to be. So you guys are at Riv. You wrap that up, and then you end up at a poker game on a boat.
Yeah, that's underselling it.
What is this?
Okay, so the guy, buddy of mine in LA, who I don't know super well, he's a friend of a friend, but he's a great guy. Played golf with him, met up with him at Riv, and he and I had talked a bit of poker because in college I played a lot of poker.
Uh-huh.
And Gordon asked the right question when he was asking me about my poker game. He said, "Golf analogy here. What's your handicap in poker?" Because I was a winning player. Like I can degen gamble like all of us can sometimes, but poker was always like something. I was a profitable player.
At like what stakes? Like at 1-2 stakes, 1-2, 2-3 kind of.
So
thing?
I played live in Vancouver, and for a while they ran at 2 different casinos in Vancouver a 2-5 no limit game, a deep stack game. So it was a $1,500 max buy at 2-5 no limit.
Nice, dude. Nice.
Yeah, no, I crushed that game, but not because I was hugely good. Like Gordon asked, he said, "What's your handicap, would you say, as a poker player?" Like, you give me the golf analogy.
Yeah.
And I said, "I'm probably like a high single digit. Like, I don't make an ass of myself, but like you would never confuse me for a stud."
Yeah.
But game selection is key.
I was going to say, if you put me in a game with like one pro and like 4 assholes, I'm the greatest poker player of all time
Right.
because I'm exploitative, right? Like I will exploit specific players and stay away from other ones. But if you put me at a table, I can play at a table full of like 6 out of 9 of the guys are pros or 5 of them are pros, but like it's not fun.
Right.
And like your odds of coming out above even are astronomically low because you're going to get exploited in spots where it's just hard. Like if you're all playing optimal,
Yeah.
like you're just trading chips all night. It's
Exactly.
stupid.
In theory, if everyone could play GTO game theory optimal, it would become tic-tac-toe. No one would ever long-term be a winner over the other. And
Exactly right.
Right.
Which you see in poker games all the time. So you're right. Game selection, you're probably So would you say you have like 2 handicaps then?
What do you mean by 2 handicaps?
Like,
Oh, are you a 2 handicap?
no, no. Like, would you have
Oh,
like a handicap when you play in a tough game versus a handicap when you play in a good game?
I hear you.
I just don't play in tough games ever.
Yeah, and neither do I. Like my knee-jerk reaction to that question was no. I'm like my index is 8, but good game selection means taking me to a course, or in this case, a table where like the course rating is 65 and the slope is 105.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Okay, like I'm probably gonna my course handicap at that table
Right.
becomes lower.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
So anyhow, but this friend of mine in LA says you should come afterwards to this poker game, and like Gordon doesn't play poker, and we've got things to do and places to be. So I'm like, I don't know, but I don't know.
Sounds interesting, right?
Well, he says the game's on a yacht. I go, oh, that sounds kind of cool. And he says, yeah,
Gordon can swim. He could like swim around out there. There's a water slide in the back.
Well, he says there's going to be, free food they'll serve you. Sushi, steak, drinks, whatever you want. Oh, okay, it's more appealing. And he says, yeah, and the people there, it's a really cool crowd. Like, you'll meet some cool people there. So finally, I think to myself, like, what else are we doing? We're driving back to Palm Springs. Okay, we'll stop in on this poker game. So we show up, and 2 very nice ladies welcome us into the yacht, and they're serving us food and drinks. And there's already 1 table running. And there's like 4 or 5, maybe like 4 when we got there, guys, waiting to open table.
And by 2 nice ladies, you mean like off-duty nuns, right? They played a nun at one point.
Apparently, these 2 ladies were stars of a lot of adult fare.
Okay, yeah.
And they looked the part. And so we're waiting for table 2 to run. And so we're making chit chat with everyone there. Actually, one of my favorite moments of the evening was, I think it was the host of the game is just chatting. Oh, like, who are you guys? How are you here? Who do you know? And we say, oh, we're friends with the guy who invited us. And we were at we were at Riv today watching the Genesis. And he says, oh, I'm picking up golf. It's so hard. And Gordon right away is thinking like golf coach. And he goes, oh, do you play any other stick and bat sports? Those are transferable. And he kind of demurs. He kind of chuckles. And then someone else says, yeah, I won't give it away, but the guy plays in the MLB.
Yeah, right.
the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And very quickly, as I'm introducing myself to everyone there, I come to realize, like, I'm the only guy there without a Wikipedia page, right?
Holy shit. Yeah, because you're in LA, right? So you just stumbled into like this.
Stumbled into a world that I knew.
Celebrity-laden event.
Yeah, I knew intellectually this world existed, but it was funny to be there because, like I said, everyone else has a Wikipedia.
Yeah, you're like, how the fuck, like, how did I end up here?
So, yeah, the guys sitting around, athletes, celebrity, like actors, one very prominent politician who's run for president, like a household name, so I shouldn't say his name. But, so, like, wow, like, holy crap, there's a lot of interesting people
It rhymes
here.
with
No, we can't.
Osmond Bump. Arnold Bump.
No, it wasn't that guy.
Oh,
wasn't
okay,
that guy.
okay,
I would have
okay.
loved for that guy to be there because that guy, whether he didn't know how to play poker or not,
he was the greatest.
The greatest.
Yeah, he killed the game. Killed it.
So it wasn't that guy. But
Okay.
And anyhow, but we still don't quite have enough. We don't want to run a 4-man game, and we're watching in the poker world. Poker was really big on TV, right? Like back in the day. Now the big thing with prominent poker players, a few casinos in LA.
Live streams, right?
Yeah, they live stream these big games at the
Texas also.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I vaguely follow
Like
it.
Andrew Nemes and Brad
Owen. Yeah,
yeah,
guys like that. And so on the yacht,
Are you just and you're just sitting there hanging out next to Adam here?
Yeah.
You're just along for the ride.
Sushi, steak.
Pick up a
know.
client or two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just hanging out. I honestly was like, I don't know if this is my crowd. Like when I kind of heard of who could possibly be there or whatever, and
You're like, yeah, not my thing, but I'll go look, right?
you never know what's gonna happen, and getting out of your comfort zone's a good thing, and whatever. And I like game theory, and I like learning about new stuff. So I was like, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
so my favorite part here, there's like 4 of us kind of waiting, and then on the TV behind us, there's one of the live streams, and I think they're at Hustler that night, and
Yeah.
And the host of the game goes, what the hell? Those guys are supposed to be here. So he picks up his phone. The live stream is probably like 5 minutes delayed or something. So 5 minutes later, as we're watching on TV.
Like 3 dudes get up.
Yeah. They rack
a
up.
gal.
Yeah, and a gal. They rack up their chips and leave the live stream. And about half an hour later, they're on the yacht.
Oh, dude, that's funny. But why would you call in a bunch of fucking pros?
Well, dude, I was intimidated. I get told I'm going to be invited to a poker game. I told you the stakes I used to play. Like, I'm not afraid of having.
Oh, yeah. So now
thousand. Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead. But
No, I'm saying, yeah. I'm jumping ahead here. You're thinking like, oh my God, what the fuck am I going to have to put in play here?
yeah, right. And now I'm thinking, okay, the crowd just went from like some athletes and celebrities and whatever to like, oh, now there's going to be a bunch
Some
of,
scalpers, right? Like they're ready to kill.
yeah. Now there's going to be all these pros at the game, and I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? But I just figure like, you know what, like, I know how to play again.
Yeah, don't get involved with them. Like maybe premium it up when you're heading off to battle against those guys, and maybe lighten up against the others.
Yeah. So I mean, I hate now the conclusion of the story is a bit anticlimactic because I mean I'm sitting there chatting up a guy who ran for president, and that was super fascinating to me.
Yeah.
The pros show up, and I don't know. The game ran for 2-3 hours. I kind of picked my spots, played ABC poker.
What was it? What did you buy in for?
What was I in for? Two? I think $2,000.
Okay, yeah.
But there were lots of guys at the table. Like a lot of guys were buying in for like 5 and reloading 6, 7, 8 times. Like there was a lot of money. At the game.
I'm sure there was a lot of that shit.
And then the bomb pots started happening, and it's like, oh my god! Like
then there's rounds of straddles, and it's getting out of control.
like there were a lot of $10,000 pots, like a lot of them, and I'm not getting involved in any of them. But anyway, like I said, the conclusion of the story is actually a bit anticlimactic. I walked out with a modest profit, but hey, that was better than tilting it all away.
Yeah, right.
And to me, oh my god, like the highlight of my day was still, seeing a PGA tournament, seeing Tiger Woods in person.
Yeah, no kidding.
I want to go a brief tangent. Like I really do have a lot of like heroes, some of whom are athletes and stuff, and like, if you would have told me I could shake Tiger Woods' hand in 20 years, I'd say, like, oh, that's cool. Like, that would be a cool thing to do. I never thought I'd watch him compete in front of me. And there is an aura, right? Like, there's an aura about the guy. There's an aura about the crowd around him. And just being part of that was so cool.
Yeah.
And then, so it was just kind of like the icing on the cake that then I walked into this world that exists in Los Angeles that I have
Dude, that's a hell of a day.
Yeah, it was a good day.
That's a hell of a day. So how many times did you bang the porn stars that were serving food? Like 6, 7? You're a single guy now. You could do it.
I am a single guy. No, I had a time in Vegas the next week is all I'm going to
say. Okay, fair enough.
With no money out of pocket.
You're
I'll just add.
Just charm.
Yeah, I just told them I'm not a scratch golfer, and they were like, who's that? Actually, here's a good one. I was once playing with a buddy of mine in Vancouver. Really good guy. And we're out at we're playing UBC, and it was the first time he played with me since I started the channel. And on the golf course, right? There's lots of people who watch golf YouTube, so it's not an uncommon experience. It's not like it happens every time. It's not an uncommon experience for someone to say like, "Oh, I've seen your YouTube channel."
Yeah.
So that round was a particularly funny one. Like 3 or 4 guys must have walked up like, "Oh, I've seen the channel, cool." And my buddy goes, "Wow, there's 2 things that are incredible about this." And I go, "What's that?" And he goes, "1, people recognize you." And I was like, yeah, it's funny, right? And he goes, 2, you are going to convert this into 0 pussy. And it's true. Like my viewership it's over.
Oh, it's got to be 99.9.
Yeah.
Oh,
it literally is over 99%.
Yeah, it has to be.
And it's
dudes,
funny.
99% dudes.
And like as someone else pointed out to me, they're like, if you had a goal of making a YouTube channel that had 99% male viewership, you probably couldn't do it. Like you could make a channel about like shaving balls, and like there would be more than 0.5% of your audience would be female.
That is funny.
Yeah, you fucked up so bad, dude.
Yeah.
You fucked up so bad. Damn it. You're like a X-list celebrity that's never. Damn, that sucks.
It's true.
It only sucks because when I get to this point, it's going to be the same thing. Just you're going to convert this in. I was like, where's he going with this? You're going to convert this into no pussy.
None.
Hey, by the way, that reminds me of the time that the guy busted on you for being short or whatever. You told me a story about somebody. You were having like a fucking terrible round and you were like super pissed off. And somebody hit you with like the best fucking shot you've ever taken.
It was great. It's really, really rare that I actually get like angry on a golf course. Like I can count on one hand how many times that's happened. But I was playing at Kings Links with Matt, and I felt that for me, I was hitting the ball really well that day. Like I just felt like I was middling it, like things were going well. But man, the amount of shots I hit that day that like just looked like they were right at it, and then like came up a club short like every time. And finally, it's like the 16th hole at Kings Links, and hit another good one that's like 2 clubs short, and I just let out. I'm like, fuck, I've been short all day. And Matt just goes, dude, you've been short your whole life.
And you're like fucking pissed, right? You're pissed.
Even in that moment, I had to stop.
Yeah, you're just
man.
like, oh, got me. God.
I teed that one up.
That is the best. That reminds me, there was a time, so when I was in school at San Diego State, I lived with 3 guys, and they were all 3 best friends from the same high school. Actually, they grew up in Walnut Creek in the Bay Area. And they all ended up living together, but they're a few years older than me, probably like 3 or 4 years, maybe 4 years older than me. And one of the guys had a master's degree in something, right? He had a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, and he hadn't quite like put this thing to use. And the 4 of us like used to go out like every Friday night, every Saturday night, some Thursday nights. We were just out every weekend. All 4 of us were single. One of the other guys was same level of college I was, which I think it was like a junior at the time. The other guy was like done with school and like had worked for like Chase or some shit, you know? And so we're out there, but my boy with the master's degree was like started his own like window washing company, and he had like 4 clients or something. And it was like just enough scratch to like buy some beers on the weekends kind of thing. And we're walking down the street, and, there's a phone. Yeah, put that phone
Okay.
Put it. Mine's on airplane mode if that's useful.
No, hold on.
Did I maybe move this too much?
Or did I? I just moved mine actually.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Let me kill my phone.
Oh, it is your phone.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Airplane.
How about just turning it off maybe? No, it's still there.
Fuck.
Airplane
Oh, is it
on.
the vape cartridge?
Oh, could be. Hold on.
Cool.
That helped.
What was that?
Was that you or me? I think it's that.
Yeah,
Touch
what the
this
heck?
again?
Oh, here we go.
Technical
That's weird, all this-
difficulties.
yeah. Intermission. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, we can internet
Yeah,
it.
I don't know. We'll deal with it.
But do you think it's in the recording too?
We could pause.
Probably, right?
No, that's fine. That is so weird.
Did you pause it?
Hold on.
What did you touch over here that did something?
No, I don't know if that was him or me. Now I'm getting a phone call. I can edit all this out, but what the fuck is going on?
Oh, okay. Hey, what were you doing over here with your hand?
I don't know.
Did you like grab something here?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought you did something to change something.
No, it's not this. That's so weird.
Like I moved this.
Yeah, and I moved my mic too.
It's a mic.
I think it is a cable.
It's a mic cable. These are supposed to be shielded, so I don't know what's going on. That's just like super loud. Hold on. You guys can hear that though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, then that's definitely going to be in the recording.
Hold on. No. The only thing that changes is when you moved one cable.
Oh, that does something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is it the power cable? Maybe that light touching something. Huh.
Yeah, the mic cables are these.
Sweet.
Hold on.
Not
That one.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's that one. Yeah.
Whose is? Yeah, it's yours.
It's mine?
No, it's his.
Gordon?
Oh, is it? I can still hear stuff.
Yeah, that's.
And that's this? The mic.
It's
Yeah, because
your
I moved this, so maybe I.
No, I don't think it's anything you did.
But it literally did that after I moved it, so maybe this is loose. Like we've got to
Yeah, try to
like
pull that
unplug.
out.
So there.
Yeah.
And then where are you?
Oh, here.
Oh.
It's just the connection's like not great. That's weird. I wonder that must have went bad.
Oh.
That's me smoking.
Oh. That was good.
Here, I'm gonna leave this part way out, but that still works.
Yep.
Okay, it's the connection. Sometimes these go bad. I think it just went bad. It's not a big deal. All right. Cool. We'll cut that out.
So we're good.
Yeah. Now we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, you can still move it around or whatever. It's fine.
Okay.
It's just that connection's like not.
flush.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to go now. So sorry.
Bit of a shank.
What were we talking about? We were talking about getting shit on the course, and then I was going to tell a story about.
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah.
Thing.
Your buddies, you 3 buddies, you're one guy who starts his window washing company.
Yeah. So we're walking down the street, and he's obviously a window washer. We're walking down the street, and there's a guy who's washing the streets of like a Neiman Marcus, like the windows. He's washing the windows on the street, and he's doing this like thing where it's all like foamed up, and then he's like wiping it with the big squeegee, and he's doing like this motion. And we're walking past him, and my buddy Jason stops and he looks at him. And he goes, "Hey man," he goes, "That's fucking awesome. I do that. I use that same squeegee." And the guy goes, "Yeah, man, this thing's great." He's all, "Yeah." He's like, "I wash windows." He's like, "Dude, that's pretty fucking dope." And we walked away, and I go, "Dude, I wonder if that guy has a bachelor's and a master's in education too." I'm like, "Why don't you ask him?" And he looks at me and he starts laughing. He's like, "Dude, fuck you." I'm like, "I bet you're the only window washer with a fucking Phoenix EDU."
You know what that reminds me of? Something that combines things we've been talking about, poker and golf and egos. Like you learn a lot about a person's character and like their ego in both of those things. You learn how people react to things that are beyond their control. You learn what someone, like I don't care what someone's skill level is at something. I find it really interesting to know how self-aware they are, right? Like the name of my YouTube channel is Not a Scratch Golfer. I don't think I'm good at golf. I think I like playing it the way I play. There's probably nothing worse than either a golfer or a poker player who thinks that they're better than they are and like reacts like they a good line on the golf course when someone gets mad is like, "You're not good enough to get angry." Right? Like when a 15 handicap or like for me, I'm between a 5 and 9 handicap. Like I'm gonna hit 15 bad golf shots around. I'm not good enough to react negatively to a shitty golf shot.
Yeah, I mean, there's no utility in getting angry on a golf course. There's
too,
just not,
yeah.
right? Have you either did you play in like another sport besides golf, or has it always been golf?
No, I got into things late. I played hockey until I was 16, 17. Played a golf tournament at one of my hockey tournaments I was at. Played golf while I was in the middle of a hockey tournament.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is way better.
Yeah.
I was playing house hockey league at that time. I'd done a little bit of rep within roller hockey and stuff. But I just being outside, it was a fresh start, seeing the ball fly. I love nature. I love being outside. And I was very like a cerebral hockey player. Like I was always messing with my
Yeah.
stick. And
So
like,
you weren't like channeling rage on the ice ever.
no. My dad's like, get angry, like do something. Out
Yeah,
there,
dude,
you know
I
what mean?
can't imagine him being like pissed off about
Well,
anything.
you can play good hockey angry.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
like,
hell yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
I was actually
For
I was
sure.
actually probably a better basketball player than I was a baseball player. But the problem is if you're a 6 foot, mildly athletic guy, you're not going to go very far with that.
Mm-hmm.
But that sport, you could get angry for a variety of reasons. Somebody could shit talk you, somebody could embarrass you. You could quite honestly, you could just want to dominate another human being, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
you could channel that rage and that anger
Yep.
and will do wonders for you.
Yep.
Even in like high school football, it would help. So I imagine at higher levels, it would help. In fucking golf, there is 0% utility in getting angry.
Well, like-
I don't think it does anything.
I was discussing this the other day with Nash. I was trying to figure out how many golfers could play good golf angry. Tiger could. Tiger could get angry sometimes. But you would
Stephen
know.
Ames, was that the guy that he beat like fucking 9 and 8 or whatever?
So Stephen Ames is a member of my club in Vancouver.
Am I saying that it was Stephen Ames
It
that
was.
talked the shit on him and said like with him hitting that shitty driver or whatever?
Well, you know what? So
Spraying it?
I went down the rabbit hole of this one the other day. Poor
he
Stephen
plays at
Ames.
your club.
Yeah,
Oh.
he does. He does. He shows up like twice a year in his red Ferrari. He hits a few balls and whatever. But anyhow,
That's
the
funny.
poor guy, he actually didn't really shit talk Tiger. Tiger just found motivation. What happened was someone stuck a mic in Stephen Ames's face and said, like, you're playing against the world number one. This is probably the greatest golfer to have ever lived. Like, how do you
Yeah.
even have a chance?
Yeah.
So he was just
Being
scraping-
hopeful.
Yeah, and scraping for an answer to the question. And he goes, well, with the way Tiger's hitting it off the tee, like, who knows? Like,
Who knows? Yeah,
Right?
who knows?
What
And then everybody was like, let's put up this quote a million times.
yeah, and then
Oh,
Tiger
God.
proceeds, for anyone who doesn't know the story. So he beats him 10-8. Like he
It was 10 and 8.
10-8.
Oh, man.
And I think he birdied like 6 of the first 7 holes. Like it was an ass kicking, like
Yeah.
a true ass
Like
kicking.
he dropped like a fucking 3-wood to like 6 feet or some shit.
Yeah,
on
and
one
then
of the
Ames
holes.
lays up, and the commentator on TV goes, "Interesting, you're 5 down through 5, and you're laying up." But anyhow, they interview Tiger after he closes him out, and the interviewer says, "Like, you had some extra motivation for this, didn't you?" With what Steven was saying, and Tiger goes, I don't want to butcher the quote, but he says something to the effect of like, "Now he knows."
Yeah. Jesus
So, but
Christ.
who else other than
Who
Tiger
knows?
could play good golf? Could and did play good golf angry? Can we think of anyone?
VJ Singh seems like he was pissed off a lot, right?
Interesting. Yeah, he is. I know a guy and a kind of a student that got to play in the Sony Open in his group like 5 or 6 years ago, and he said this about almost all of the guys, but he says almost all of them out there, are kind of, if they're not in the top 10, they're kind of just like kicking their clubs around and they're not super grateful and happy to be out there. You know, they're just all kind of grinding. That could be a blanket statement, but different types of anger. Like Ben Hogan played with like this tenacity and focus and just like grit. You know what I mean? Everyone's got their different personalities. There's players that are aloof out there and
Yeah.
brain dead, and that's a cool thing about golf is you can have different body types, different ages, personalities, skill sets, and still play the game.
In
Very
fact,
neat.
so the angriest golfer I can think of is Sergio. Like the most outbursts and like lack of control over that. And I never saw it benefit him one time.
Yeah,
His record kind of says that. Unfortunately, he's been touted as like one of the best ball strikers of the last 20 years, and unfortunately, that didn't materialize into as much as it could have.
Where is he? Is he playing on Live now? Where
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
Yeah, he was one of the first guys that like let it slip. Like the week
Yeah.
before, he was like, "I can't wait to be off this fucking tour. Fuck you
right.
guys!"
Yeah.
Like
Just like
having it out.
Sergio.
Yeah, just.
Yeah.
But like, dude, there is no like. I've never done anything good on a golf course, and in fact, I feel more accomplished when I do experience like anger, and like, dude, I've had things where like. The angriest I ever got on a golf course was when
This will be good. This is good. I've seen some stuff on the course, and it's good to.
dude.
It's funny to hear this stuff.
The angriest I ever got was during so in the beginning of COVID, what would happen was all of the courses in the Bay Area were closed down. And they were doing like crazy shit to make sure you didn't play on them. Like, they were putting up like like barbed wire around the greens and shit, like, or razor wire, like leaving it. Dude, they were doing crazy shit. So like you couldn't even sneak on a golf course while it was closed or whatever. But in the Sacramento area, there were a few where there were a few courses open where they were rural enough that like the county was just like, yeah, fuck it, just, you know, do the social distancing and whatever. And they were like, fine. There were also the Mackenzie course, the Mackenzie course at Hagen Oaks was open. Dude, this is such a tragic story too. I'm not going to name what news outlets, but it was like the major newspaper. They were actually outside the grounds, like trying to take video. Like they had all these very specific like regulations they had to abide by. So only one person in a cart, like stay 6 feet away. There were guys out there like video, like trying to catch people to do stories to get it closed down. Like they wanted these things closed down. So aside from the point, what I would do is there were some guys that I am very, and you and I have talked about this like in our off the course conversations, where I'm like super strict about the people I hang out with personally. Like I have a small group of friends. I'm not interested in being popular or like having a shit ton of people around me. Like I don't need that. And I'm very careful about it because as you become an adult and you have more to lose, you just have to be careful about, like, it's a good personal policy to be careful about the people that you hang out with. Now, golfers tend to act like fucking babies. Like they just do. Like I've seen a lot of guys in Skins game behave like babies. You get in like these net tournaments and they're fucking crying about this and that. And like there are guys who cheat and guys who fudge their handicaps, and it's just a lot of baby behavior. So you have to be very, like you see some bad attitudes in golf from adults. And so you got to be careful about who you spend a lot of time playing with. In this moment, what would happen was there were a couple courses in Sacramento open, and we would just drive over there and go play. And it's a long drive to get there. And then we would like double up in hotel rooms and stay the night so we could play the next day and do all that stuff, like, you know, in the dead of COVID. There was a guy that we played with who, you talk about like cocky dudes. Like this guy was like, just had a ton of ego about his golf game. Used to like lie about being a touring professional. Like he was just, I fucking hated that he was even enmeshed in our group at all. And this guy, he's an idiot. He is just stupid. Like he is not mentally, he's not smart. And so most of the stuff that I would see him do, I would pass off as he's a fucking idiot. So he's not doing this because of gamesmanship, because he's not smart enough to realize that he could do this to like put somebody on tilt. So one of the things that he would constantly do is, there's 4 of us playing a hole. You, me, so Adam, myself, you, and this guy, we'll call him Brian. And Brian, all are playing this hole. The 2 of you guys hit your ball up on the green. Fine. You go up there, you mark it. I'm short right. He's short left. Brian is short left. He's away. Then it's my turn. Then we'll figure out who's closest and we'll start putting. So what he would do is he'd get ready to chip. I'd get ready to chip. So when he would chip, I'd be about ready to chip because, you know, we're not in a tournament. We're also, there's a group behind us, a group in front of us, like just play. Mm-hmm. He would fucking chip. His ball would go up near the hole somewhere, like up and down territory, 3, 4, 6 feet, whatever. I would get ready to chip. And right before I pull the club back, he's fucking practically running up to mark his ball.
Oh.
And I'm just like, what is his ball? Like, isn't in my way. It's not even behind where my ball's going to go. So like backstopping is not going to happen. But he's doing that because we're playing for money. Mm. And he, in his mind, he's like, I don't want to backstop this, so I'm going to run up there and grab it. He's not doing it to distract me. So he does it one time. And I'm like, when I chip, I feel it. And I'm not looking at the target. I've already picked where I'm trying to bounce the ball to. So I do my practice swings. I address it. I look up one time and pull the trigger. So when I look up and see somebody, that's the last thing I do. And then I see it. And now I have to start it all over again. It's like, fuck, I was feeling it. Like, what is this? So he does it. Afterwards, I'm like, hey, man, next time you do that, if you really want to mark it that bad, like if you think it's that necessary, just say, hey, Aaron, I'm going to mark that. Hold on. Or whatever. Or ask me if you want me to mark it, whatever. He's like, gives me 20 excuses. Like, dude, I can mark that ball if I want. But yeah, you're running in front of a guy that's like trying to chip. Like, what is the point of that? Well, you got to wait. And
You're
it's
not
like,
wrong. You're just an asshole.
yeah. And it's just like, why are you arguing about this? Okay, fine. So then there was another time later on in that fucking round where he's from the flag, he's probably 35 yards and I'm 18 yards. And he's basically behind me. And he ran past me to do it again while I'm hitting.
Ugh.
Like, as I'm hitting, he's running by my like left shoulder. And I fucking lost it because this guy's a cocksucker and I just did not like him for all of these other reasons. He's like an issue to play with. And I fucking spun around and tomahawked my club like into the fairway.
I thought you were going to say at him.
No, at him. And I turned around and I go, Brian, what the fuck are you doing? Like as loud as I could yell. Like, what are you fucking doing? I was like, we just talked about this. And then he goes on this like soliloquy about like how he has the right, like, dude, it's a rule. I can like mark it if I want to. Like it's up, like you got to give me time for that. Like all this dumb shit. And it's just like, dude, you're the fucking worst. Don't ever do this again. We played like 2 weeks later and I found out he was going to be in my group and I was hating it. And he fucking did it again.
Oh, God.
And I was, dude, the strength I felt building, I could have flipped the golf cart over. I was so pissed off. Yeah. That was the only time. And the sad part was I went on to lose like $100 to him that day because I couldn't let go of the anger. And the worst part about it was you walk away from that experience knowing there's no utility in being, it didn't help.
Yeah.
I didn't hit the ball better. I didn't make more putts. Like, it's fucking worst, man.
Dude, it comes back to my poker thing where you see a lot of a person's character when they're on a golf course or on the poker table, especially when money's on the line.
You add in the money aspect to golf and shit gets ugly. Like, shit gets ugly.
I remember, so I went to Bandon Dunes for the first time. And we were playing 2 rounds a day.
Is this the recent trip? Like within the...
Yeah, it was last August. And I've never felt so bad in a money game because in the morning I'd had a career round. And it was the only time... Gordon and I joke, like, I don't get hurt a lot playing golf. I feel like a lot of people are always struggling with injuries. And my joke is like, when you're not ripping at the ball that hard, like when your swing thought is now flail, you don't get hurt. And
you got to be careful with that midsection scar.
Yeah, well,
you
and
can't
as
be ripping that open.
And as John Daly says, you can't pull fat. So, but anyhow, we're out in the morning, and I have a career round, and it was one of the only times ever I was physically drained from the round and mentally drained.
Yeah,
and we go out immediately after. We're like running to the next tee time. We'd played Pacific Dunes in the morning, and we're playing Sheep Ranch in the afternoon. I get to the first tee of Sheep Ranch, and all the other guys on this trip with me, they had chartered a jet to get down there. I was one of 2 suckers driving down. I have the money to take a private jet to Bandon Dunes anyway. And I get to the first tee, and these guys want to
follow and subscribe.
Yeah,
not a scratch golfer. Please subscribe.
Please, sponsors, where are you at? So I get to the first tee at Sheep Ranch, and they want to play a big money game. And I was like, guys, like no one. It's a team game, and I said no one wants to be my partner. Like I am drained.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, what are you talking about? I heard about your round this morning. Like, let's go.
Yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah. And I was like, no.
Yeah, I got one of those in me a month, like a year.
Maybe a career. And but like I said that I was like, I'm not going to be a party pooper and say no. I'm just going to say like, find another format. Don't stick someone with me because I'm not going to be grinding over anything in this round.
Right.
And anyway, I got stuck with the guy, and I was terrible. And he didn't like snap at me angry, but he was kind of pissed off. And I was like, man, I warned you I warned the whole group on the first tee that we shouldn't do this with me here. So
yeah.
That was me being on the receiving end of anger on the golf course.
Oh, dude, it's the worst. It's the worst. I can't imagine. Like, I don't know. The other thing is like where it seems like you play most regularly in Canada. I can't imagine that you deal with like just savage idiots on the course ever, right?
I think my general takeaway is like there's about as many assholes on the golf course as there are in life. Like, and I'm a member of a private club, and a lot of like my friends ask me like, are there lots of pretentious assholes? And I always rack my brain. I'm like, yeah, there's a few, but like there's a few everywhere.
Do you have bad like customers, Gordon? Like, what do you call them?
Students.
Students. Yeah.
Students. Yeah. They get mad. I've got a couple stories of some interesting things that I've seen. But hey, like part of my job is to moderate expectations. You know what I mean? And but do you mean
that's got to be? Can you give me scratch that?
Okay.
Can you give me advice on how to effectively get another player to moderate their expectations
of their game?
Yeah, I have a girlfriend right now who will.
Oh, that's tough.
Like, dude,
I'll tell you why. I have taught hundreds, if not, maybe not thousands of people, but thousands and thousands and thousands of lessons. And my wife jokes, she's like, I'm going to go see like another instructor. We can't teach our significant other.
No, I don't teach. So
yeah,
I do not teach her a motherfucking thing. I've told her, I'm like, hey, look, you want to, she understands this. And she volunteered. I was like, because she would caddy for me a long time. Mm-hmm. She's a big golf fan. Mm-hmm. Like, she's been around the game a lot in her life.
Okay.
And eventually there was a time I was on the range and I'm like, you sure you don't want to hit balls? She's like, okay. So I handed her a 7-iron and said, like, go at it. So she hit a couple and the bug was instantaneously caught.
Cool.
And then I said, if you want to take lessons, go find a coach. I'm never coaching you on anything. Mm-hmm. If you ask me, like, hey, how to do this, I will limit my advice to 1 or 2 points.
That's really smart.
But I've broken par in my life like 10 times. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not the guy. Like, I don't even understand my own game well enough. I understand some things, but like, I'm not teaching you. This is never happening. Mm-hmm. The one thing I do is keep her calm about her game so she doesn't get so frustrated that she like quits in the middle of 18 holes.
Yeah.
So, but she has a hard time. She does that thing that everybody does, which is she stripes it on the range or she stripes it in practice. And then when she goes out on the course, she can't replicate that. Mm-hmm. She's throwing clubs and fucking losing her shit and all this. So like, how do you like, first off, 2-part question. Mm-hmm. When do you set expectations? Mm. And like, how do you do it? Like effectively.
Yeah, well, I know when, like in my case, if someone's trying to change their ball flight or change their dispersion or their contact issues, you have to tell them like, hey, this is a puzzle. And if we're only halfway through the puzzle, like you're going to be frustrated and like people don't always get worse before they get better. Like, I don't know what percentage it is that they do or don't, but you have to be clear in what you're doing and let them know. Like I don't know, Adam, you probably don't know this, but like, I don't know if we've done this enough, but we haven't even worked together on your swing that much, but I'll be in a lesson. I'll be like, hey, let's do this and this, and then go ahead and swing. And I'm like, you might miss it. You might miss the ball, and it's totally okay because your brain's reorganizing and we might have to change your setup to get good contact.
Yeah.
So I'm always setting those things. And I remember I used to get nervous in lessons when someone would hit a bad ball or even hit 5 bad in a row. And now like I'm very calm, and it's very rare that I my heart skips a beat at all because I know that, well, I've seen enough. I have enough like tools in the toolbox and enough things to help people that it's going to be fine long term, and even midterm or short term. But yeah, I know in lessons it's like, hey, you're gonna miss the ball, you're gonna hit terrible shots, and you just have to tell yourself like a lot of bad stuff's gonna happen, and keep going. Just keep going. And I can't think of too many specific examples right now, but I do just deal with it all the time. And when I'm on a range, it's just like, hey, or you set. Because if you know something is going to go sour, and you know somebody that's been hitting huge slices is about to maybe hit some big hooks, you're going to hit a bunch more terrible shots before you learn to straighten this out. That's what I can think of right now. And is that what you're getting at, or is it? it's
No,
on the
that's
course
actually
too?
helpful. That's actually helpful because just like the main theme I hear in that is like teaching somebody to be
Yes.
accepting of the fact that this is going to be a shit show for a while.
Exactly.
And like just don't sweat it, right?
No, nothing. Sweat zero. Mo Norman, who is an interesting character on and off the golf course when he was alive, but he had a quote that it was like having an alert attitude of indifference.
Yeah.
So you're paying attention to the details and you're not attached to the outcome. And I think that's how we need. It's just formulas and it's problem solving and you know what the worst is when people don't know why things are happening and they identify with the problem.
Right.
That's when it is a disaster because they're like, I suck, or like, I can't do this, or like, why do I always, and it's like, well, there's actually a physical answer to that, and there's like a cause and effect relationship, and if you just knew it and you knew to like go to the cause, well, then you wouldn't identify with it and you wouldn't get as upset. So
Gord, I would pay money to watch like someone on the golf course go like, "Why do I fucking suck?"
yeah.
And have you just like appear out of the bushes and be like, "Well, actually, it's because your setup is trash and your backswing is like Adams." Just to be, that's great.
That'd be funny, actually.
That would be good. As calm and collected as he is. You're just like, do you know what would be funny? Is if he came in on like a conveyor belt where he doesn't even like walk in, he just kind of fucking sets up. He's like, well,
Since you asked.
yeah. I have an answer for you.
Yeah.
It's because you suck.
Oh, man.
Is there something you just brought up, Mo Norman? So I don't watch a lot of professional golf, and it doesn't really interest me. But like certain people and personalities and stories interest me. And Mo Norman, like, is I know Mo Norman's a legend everywhere, but particularly in Canada. To me, he's the most like fascinating person who's ever existed in golf, right? And I think for people who don't know, that they seem to say he's probably like the best ball striker ever. Is that fair?
I would say straightest.
Okay, the straightest ball. Like,
And even he said this, and I'll backtrack a little bit. I have a family friend that actually helped start natural golf, or he was one of the main instructors that he certified hundreds and hundreds of people. And natural golf was made from Mo Norman's like swing tendencies and setup preferences and all that, right? Do you know Mo's story a little bit?
I do, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so he was one of my first golf mentors and awesome guy. I stayed with him for him and his family and all that for like 6 months at a time down in Palm Desert. So I got to watch like behind the scenes kind of footage of like Mo talking, like other fireside chats, clinics, ball striking exhibitions, stuff that's not posted on YouTube and all that.
Yeah.
And it was fascinating. It was cool. And I already, before I even kind of was getting mentored by this pro, dug into everything I could about Mo because, hey, he was quirky, he was interesting, he had a unique setup, and yeah, like you'd see people standing behind him just going ooh and ah all the time because he's hitting everything on a dead straight rope. So from Mo Norman's words about his own game and ball striking, there were people that were almost as accurate in where their ball ended up, but no one hit it as straight as him.
right.
You know what I mean? And he was longer when he was younger. He picked his lead heel up and had some movements that were like more athletic. P.S. So we talked about how anger is like not the best for golf. For long drive, it is fantastic.
I
Smash
believe.
it, eh?
Yeah, I have a few. I've got some friends and some people I've worked with in that community, and just gotten to know some really cool people in that community. That's like get as angry as you can, hit it as hard as you can, and while you're doing that, try to hit it pure and straight.
Yeah, right. Because adrenaline in that moment's gonna help, right?
Totally.
Or like the hormones
Yes.
associated with anger are gonna help.
Totally, yeah. You want to just dominate the golf ball, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think the same thing right before I sleep with somebody that I've just met.
poor people.
The very same thing,
Either
dude.
good
What
or
I
bad
was
for them.
what I was gonna say about Mo, and I don't know if this is like my cockamamie theory.
Oh, I
but,
like it.
Like, I mean, I have lots of. I think about Mo Norman a lot, but like, so
Is that why your pants are off right now, dude?
and then my socks are different colors. And, So for people who don't know, I mean, there's a lot to say about Mo Norman, but the reason a lot of people haven't heard of him.
And by the way, the reason why he's getting filleted especially hard is Mo Norman's Canadian, right?
Exactly. I was saying
Yeah.
he's a big deal in Canada.
Yeah. So.
And you meet lots of people in Canada who've seen him play and everyone's got a Mo Norman
Got
story
it.
in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
But
no Adam Hadwin stories, right?
there's a few. He's from our hometown. Yeah, we got some.
Oh,
Adam
no
Hadwin
shit.
stories. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Have you played with him, Gord?
I haven't. I've played with Nick Taylor and Adam Svensson's kind of like friends of friends and heard a few things about
Two
him.
guys who were had some success in the last couple weeks.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
Nick actually hooked us up with our tickets to Riv.
Yeah,
Oh,
thanks.
okay.
Got
Thanks,
us
Nick.
4 or 5 tickets, and then and then for me at the Waste Management, and yeah, I'm good buddies with one of his good friends up there, and we've played together a few times. And Nick is an absolute beauty.
Wait,
Ho-
I want to
ho-
talk about Mo Norman.
I know. It's
Sorry,
true.
yeah.
Just wanted to just throw that up.
I just wanted you to stop jacking off
No,
in my studio. All right.
Mo could have done that here. You never know. Anyhow, so part of my thing about Mo, and for people who I think a lot of people probably don't know a lot about him, but one of the reasons a lot of people don't know a lot about him is he didn't have a long and storied PGA Tour career. And a huge part of that, he played in the Masters a couple times, 2 or 3 times.
I think it might have been once.
No, I know it was more than one.
Was it?
Maybe
Okay.
it was only 2. But anyhow, what happens is after one round at the Masters, Mo was like posthumously unofficially diagnosed as being on the spectrum in some capacity or the other.
Really? I had no idea. About
Yeah. Well, in his day, like that wasn't really,
A thing,
as
right.
recognized, right? And basically, people kind of thought, for lack of a better term, he was an asshole. And he would he didn't dress the part. He didn't want to. He would sometimes deliberately finish second in tournaments so that he didn't have to have a microphone in his face. So anyhow, after
Is that real?
Yeah,
Really?
that's true.
Okay.
That's true. He would also, like in tournaments in Canada, if he would look at what the prizes were, and if he wanted whatever was because it wasn't always financial, it'd be like, third place gets these steak knives, and if he wanted the steak knives, he would deliberately finish in third. Like Mo was a quirky guy, but anyhow, he gets dressed down after one round at the Masters. They said like, if you're gonna play golf on this tour, your socks need to match. You're this and that. Anyway, he felt so humiliated by it. He said, I'm done with this. I'm just going to go back to Canada and play on the Canadian tour.
Interesting.
But one of my theories about Mo, and I think this comes from him, socially being, let's say, like aberrant in some capacity. I think back then it was also a different world. We didn't see everyone's swings on,
Yeah, right.
But nonetheless, like, if there was a theme for Mo, he did it his way, right? Like Mo did not care what someone thought looking at him hit a golf ball. I don't think Mo, like, I'm sure he looked at golf swings that he thought were cool, but like no one, especially back then, was teaching you to hit the ball the way Mo did, right? No one was teaching you to have, grips that were the size of like a baseball grip and taking the grip he did. He did it his way. And I do think, and I'm not poo-pooing golf instruction, you should learn how to hit a golf ball. But I think a lot of people, especially learning, right, they go, okay, I'm going to watch Adam Scott swing, and I'm going to go to the range, and I'm going to put a mirror behind me, and I'm going to make sure my P1 and P2 are there and there. Like, maybe there is some genius to Mo Norman, and I'm not saying everyone should do this, but going out and being like, I'm doing this my way.
Yeah.
And I love watching that guy hit a golf ball. I wish there were a friggin' shot tracer on any of his, because every time I talk to someone who saw him in person hit a ball, and I say, like, what? Like, was it really as good as they say? And they go, like, you don't get it. The ball was on a string 100% of the time. I put a clip. This is my last Mo Norman story, I swear. A clip on YouTube the other day where he's giving some clinic, and there's a guy interviewing him while he's just sitting there flushing balls like he does. And he's hitting ball after ball after ball after ball off this tee. And the tee, they zoom in on it. The tee didn't move a millimeter.
Interesting.
And they say, Mo, how long you been using that tee? And he goes, 7 years.
No fucking way, dude. What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mo is bonkers. He's absolute savant, and hit millions and millions of balls, and he. There's so many different ways to go with this conversation with Mo, but I didn't realize you were that. I know at certain points you were interested in him, but yeah, Mo was incredible. He really was.
There's not a definitive piece of media about him either. I have a friend, Shane. Shane, I hope you're listening. I listen to your podcast. He has a cool podcast. And he's a film producer, and his company, they make documentaries about athletes. And I've been telling him, like, there's got to be a definitive
market for that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, dude, he's like a Canadian national hero. Like,
Yeah.
why? That should be like a no-brainer.
Yeah, well, they've been trying to put one together for years and
That's right.
years, but it hasn't. And like his family was somehow involved, so like that's why my friend Shane said he wouldn't touch it. He said like they've been trying to do it, and the people who are doing it are more qualified to do it than I am. But it's a shame that. But yeah, to your point, like I one of the only golfers I read a lot about, and it's not about his golf swing, it's about his person, is Mo Norman, and I think it's a tragedy. He's one of those people where like, you know, had things broken a different way, everyone who'd ever hit a golf ball would know who he was, instead of just like Canadians and people who care.
Dude.
A couple things there. I think that project for his documentary is actually closer than ever and moving forward. So that's,
awesome.
That's exciting. I heard from Tim and a few different people. So that's exciting. And then Mo did respect one other ball striker.
Oh, I know this. Go ahead.
Yeah. So he would look at Ben Hogan.
Yeah.
And talk about how long his blade was square through impact, and about his kind of one plane move and different things. And it's funny. So Mo was a person that whipped it inside and came over. So that makes sense why you've got another reason why you have that pattern, other than your orangutan arms and your 5'7".
Wow.
So that is
Wow.
5'7's very generous.
Oh, true. So he's got his arm span is, I think it was 5'10".
Yeah, we did this. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's essentially on a very horizontal plane already with how he attaches to the club.
Yeah.
And it is a strong move when you come low and in and then come over the top. That's why a lot of people do it. It's like it's just a physiological, like, strong response to hitting something. Like if you're clubbing something, right? And but yeah, some people will take it so far inside that their over the top move will put it into the slot or an efficient downswing path.
Is that what Adam does?
It's exactly what he does.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then adding flailing and weird stuff in the backswing that's hard to pull off. I tried to do his swing the other day, and I think I pulled something in my back. But
please,
hey, look. So today you might not have seen this that much with my swing, because I have spent like the last 4 or 5 months not doing it. So on video, like if you watch like my older videos, I whip it inside too. So when I get the club parallel to the ground, it used to be pointing
inside.
The head was behind my ass.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. The head of the club was behind my ass. And the strong grip and the over rotation, it was just, I would get it back there and then just bring it straight through, and it was fine.
Yeah.
So a couple of things. The problem with that is, as you probably know, you have to, there's a lot of timing in order not to miss with that shot, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, I was doing a lot of pushing out to the right, which I was fine with, as long as it's not snap hooking and ending up 65 yards, flag high, but 65 yards to the left or whatever. Like, it was fine. But eventually I was like, look, I just want more consistency, so that when I miss this, it's more like the dispersion's more like 10 yards to the right or left, but the same distance. So eventually I finally read, I didn't go to a lesson. I probably should have. This would have fast-tracked this for me. But I discovered that if I was reaching. So like in my setup, I'm very used to be very Bryson, very down the line.
He's also like that, and then Mo Norman and a few others.
Exactly right. So your only move, so like when
there.
you turn, it's going to be whipping back behind you.
Great call. That's awesome. It's like our setup and our body produce certain patterns, and you just nailed it. That was a good job.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, everybody says, get athletic, let your arms hang down. Let's see what it looks. So I just, one swing felt weird. And at the time I was probably taking it too high, too vertical, too fast. But what I did was I realized that from that athletic position and that kind of straight down arms, all I have to do is just bring, I do preset it. So I got a little bit of the Matthew Wolf, and it's more lower body than it is hands. So I kind of turn and then pull it back. But Now I'm like parallel and that club's pointing straight behind me. And from there, it's funny. I know the hands and the club is going up, but I just feel like I'm reaching back behind me this way.
Gotcha.
And then from there, I just pull it forward, like rotate and pull it forward. And my misses are so much smaller right and left.
That's cool.
Like, if anything, I pull it a little bit now, but on a straight shot, and I only miss it by like 5 yards. So I'm conscious of that on like a left flag location and just favor the right a little bit. But like changing that whole thing has been, first off, magical for me, but I'm also 44 years old and I whipped it inside my entire life and, breaking 80 every time I play. So it's not something like, I don't think Adam, I don't know. I wouldn't change. I don't know. I wouldn't change. If I were you, not that you need to take my advice, but if I were you, I would figure out how to get more out of your driver swing, because the times that we've played, you've ripped off like 2 or 3 drives where I was just like, there's got to be some consistency you can find in that one shot or that one swing. And like, if you did that all the time, because dude, you hit a lot of hybrids into greens. Yeah. That's like hard to like get a ball on a green from that.
Yeah, I flip-flop on this one all the time because part of me says, like my own mantra on my channel, right, is just get it in play and then be good inside 100 yards.
Yeah.
So a lot of me says do that and then just manage the course well. But then a lot of me says, like, I've done that, and when I'm doing that well, it's sweet, but there's a ceiling.
But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, let's say you figure out how to get that ball inside of 100 yards or 110 yards 4 more times around. Like now, instead of shooting 76, 77, 75, you're like approaching like that's the one. Because like around the greens, you're as good as like anybody that plays golf.
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you because I'm basically saying like, I've seen the ceiling of my game being steady off the tee and good inside 100 yards. And I'm not always there, but I've seen what that ceiling is.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I say to myself exactly what you're saying. Well, what would happen if every time I was holding a 6-iron or a hybrid, I was holding a 9-iron or a 6-iron?
Right.
And the problem is that sounds like work.
Yeah, that's where my job gets difficult, when someone doesn't want to work.
Well, dude, he's already carrying around, mics and fucking stands and cameras.
But it also comes down, like I was saying earlier, it's like, what do we want out of golf? And like, I have a buddy, Steve, who's a fascinating dude, like had never played golf. I think that's true. Yeah, I don't think he'd ever played golf, and self-taught, also like never had a lesson, and he got down to scratch like within 2 years of picking up a golf club. And he's always giving it to me, being like, dude, like, why don't you take the next step? Like, are you going to be happy with this game forever?
Yeah.
And I think the answer is yes. Because again, like, it's like, I don't, like, look, do I want to shoot 65 one day? Yeah. But like, I've discussed kind of my background. It's not what I'm there for. Like, it's not like, that feels like chasing the dragon to me.
Yeah.
It's like, because guess what? If you're shooting 65 at normal courses every day, then you become a tour pro. And when you're a tour pro, you're rebuilding your swing because you like want to be better and better. And it just seems to me like this never-ending pursuit. And I've watched, like, I don't know about you guys. I have a ton of friends who are like former college players or guys who went pro or almost went pro. And then they'll lose their game a bit and they don't play for like 10 years. They go, I gave it up for 10 years.
Yeah.
Because like it just, and I get it. Like they're like, I'm used to a standard that I can't meet. And I think to myself, if there's like anything that could ever keep me away from a golf course for 10 years, I don't want to do it. And if that thing that kept me away was getting better and then getting worse and getting frustrated, like again, this to me all of a sudden turns golf into work.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's, I can relate to that because I golf to be competitive, because I have a competitive Jones. It's like been there for my entire life. And like, I don't want to play basketball and get hurt. I can't throw a baseball like I used to. So golf does that. So there is I'm actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm actually somewhat blessed in that, like today I can go out and shoot 81 or whatever the fuck it was that I shot, like shoot 8 or 9 over and not care. And I'm totally okay with it. Yet I can go to a skins game and make 6 birdies or 7 birdies and feel phenomenal about that. Or I can go to a tournament and put down my best score, like 70, or sorry, I guess 54 or
Timeout, you shot 54.
no, 54 hole score or
Got it.
36 hole score. No,
Got
54. No, my all-time low round is 7 under.
Damn.
So I shot a 65.
Damn. Gord, what's yours?
It's higher than that. I haven't played that much in my life.
Yeah, you don't play golf.
What?
No, it's weird. I've
Dude,
played,
no
I played
way.
More golf in the last 3 weeks than I had in maybe the last 2 years. Like, but mostly
Wow.
injury. I had a cyst in my wrist, and I had some back issues because of the long giraffe back, and some interesting things. But yeah, no, I obsess. I like hitting balls. I like putting. I like teaching, and then the goal is to play more tournament rounds. Oh, that round. Yeah, when we played at Richmond there, I had a nice finish. I was like top 5 in a pro event, and I won the PGA or like the PAT to get in as a Class A.
What
PGA
course was
pro.
that at? What did you shoot?
I was at Kings Links, my
Oh,
favorite
the
golf
greatest.
course. Now Spyglass is my favorite golf course, but Kings Links is a close second.
Why do you like Spyglass? So
Oh
of
my
the Pebble
goodness.
courses, that's the only one I haven't played.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
man.
I know I'm fucking up.
Oh, yeah.
know.
You're doing it wrong. It's
So
it's the best
this-
course there, I think.
This
That's
is worth
right.
chatting about for a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no. Yeah, tell me.
Well, for me, after being at Riv for the day, I was so impressed with Riv. I was so impressed with how manicured it was, but also how they let things go around in the other areas. You know what I mean? So it had an element of longer grass, of beautiful trees, of like nature, and then the cool houses around it. Riv is a golfer's golf course. As in like you've got to hit lots of long irons. You've got to have a tidy short game. You've got to read these tricky greens.
Yeah, you use every club in the bag, right?
Every club and all the difficult clubs, long irons. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Anyway, so honestly, after he said we've got this round at Spyglass planned, and I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm excited about that, but nothing beats Riv. And then I got to walk Augusta a few years ago when Tiger won on the Saturday. But anyways, I didn't think, and then I'd driven around 17 Mile Drive and kind of checked out all that. It was paradise, but I didn't realize how amazing Spyglass would be on the back 9 of it. Like I was like tearing up almost.
Yeah, man. You had an experience.
It was an experience. It's just so beautiful. We had a perfect day, perfect weather, especially in the last like 15 holes. It was a little cold in the morning, but they tried to model some of the holes after Augusta. It's just the colors, the shape of the holes, the quality of the course. It was gorgeous. It was an amazing experience, and yeah, so happy I got to play it. It's my favorite course I've ever played, and it's
When did you play this?
this is 4 days ago.
Yeah, a few days ago.
Oh
yeah.
shit!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to think about all the great players that have been through there, and the fact that they tried to model after this course that we're watching on TV.
You guys
right
played
now.
it right after. Yeah, you got it pure. You played
Yeah.
it right after that tournament.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
only been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another, like, talking about like what our goals in golf are. Like, I love going to good golf courses, and like the one shame, I ran a poll on my YouTube channel a few weeks ago of like, what's the thing you'd like to see improved in golf the most? And by like a
Please
lands-
don't say it was fucking pace of play.
No, but I put that as an option on the list because I
Okay.
know a lot of people hate that. In a landslide, it was cost. Like the cost
Yeah.
of equipment and the access of golf.
Yeah.
And it's something, to be honest, I haven't thought about for a bit because like a blessing of having a YouTube channel is if way more often than not, if I email a golf course and say, hey, I have a YouTube channel, want to come out there and play, they'll comp a green fee. And like, it is true. It's been a while since I thought about like, if I were paying for all this golf, what would it cost? And it really sucks that like a place as awesome as Spyglass, like, man, like it's an expensive round. And most of the great golf courses around the world, like, you can't go and play them every day. Like,
Right.
and a lot of people, like, it's probably unrealistic to even go out there and play it once. And that sucks because, like, anyone who's got the golf bug like
Dreams.
Yeah, you want to go and play some of these places. And fortunately, hey, pro tip, Spyglass. There's a thing called Duke's Club. You heard of
Yep.
this? Yeah.
Yep.
So Duke's Club, it's like an annual fee you pay, but it pays for itself the first time you play around because it basically gives you effectively about half off at all the courses at the Pebble property except for Pebble itself. And that rate extends to all of your like everyone on your tee time.
And for people who don't know, that's Spanish Bay, Del Monte, Spyglass.
What are we missing? I guess that's
There's
it.
one more.
Maybe the Hay. I don't know.
Yeah, the Hay as well. But in any event, like, so I think the Duke's Club rate for Spyglass was like $250 instead of like $430 or something.
Yep.
Still a lot of money for a round of golf, but if skip a few rounds that you were going to pay $50 at your Muni for, if you can somehow find yourself to Monterey,
It's very much worth it. Wow. And then if you can't do that, pay your $50 to go to the AT&T Prime and be a spectator and check it all out.
It's
right?
true. Just being there is amazing.
Yeah, go to Monterey, number 1.
Yeah.
2, maybe watch some golf there in the tournament. 3, try to play.
4, go to
Heaven.
Big Sur. Big Sur is really cool.
Yeah.
You love Big Sur.
Big Sur is my favorite place.
You know, God tries to wipe that place off the face
I
of the
know.
earth every fucking year. You
Gordon
get that,
and I
right?
were joking about that. It's
God hates it.
who knows? Maybe he's
Or
trying to-
Jews. Maybe he hates Jews, and he knows you like it, and he's pissed still about the whole, his kid thing.
To move away from that very quickly, an anecdote I have. I think I lost a girlfriend over
How
the
much you
Monterey
loved
Peninsula in Big Sur because she lived in the Bay Area. And she wanted, like, we both loved, going on trips together and stuff. And she always wanted to travel. And I was like, she was like, let's go to Italy. And I'm like, or we could just go to Big Sur. It's like an hour away. And I dragged
She was
her.
like, one time, can we go to someplace warm?
Yeah,
right? Didn't she say that?
That's exactly what
Yeah.
it was. She was like, we've gone there like 5 times in the last year. It's never hot there.
Yeah.
True. It's never
Dunzo.
terrible. It's never hot.
Well, Carmel on the Sea is cool.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Her joke was, it wasn't a joke. She was serious because Carmel by the Sea is this beautiful little town right there. It's rarely hot there. And she said, take me away from Carmel by the Sea. Take me to Carmel by the land. Take me where it's warm.
There is, dude. Carmel Valley.
And so I took her there.
Yeah.
And we went to some wineries. It was a great time.
Quail Lodge, played
yeah.
around there.
Yeah. Actually, the last time we were there, this might have been her last straw. We were there a bunch of couples, and all the guys said in advance they wanted to play golf. And we had it planned. I had us booked, I think, at Spanish Bay because that's where I could get a time. And then all the other women were able to muscle their men into not playing. And I said, like, screw this. I'm not friggin'
Oh, this is right. You went solo.
Yeah, I said, well, screw this. I'm not going there and not playing golf. And I got invited, incidentally, to go play at Pasatiempo.
This
which
was a nail in the coffin.
might
for
have
sure.
been. But Pasatiempo also could be. I put a list up the other day of my favorite 10 courses, and I think I had Spyglass at 2 and Pasa at 3 and Pacific Dunes at number 1. But every golfer should make their pilgrimage to the Monterey Peninsula. You will not regret it. Your wallet might hate you, but
Yeah, I'm like a diehard desert golf guy. Like
Really?
I'm Phoenix till I die.
man. So on this road trip I did with Gordon, we played a bunch in Palm Springs, and I had just done a month-long trip to Scottsdale.
Okay.
And to be
So by the way, just we agree that Palm Springs and the courses are different. Palm Springs and Phoenix are not the same
correct. Yeah.
in terms of Palm Springs is actually a little closer to Vegas, I think, in the type of desert.
Yeah, they're different. And I also think the public golf in Phoenix beats the public golf in Palm Springs.
1,000%. Like
Yeah.
the best you can get is like Tuckeets Creek, shit like that.
Man, it's not even that good.
I know.
But so to be clear, all those courses in both those places, especially in Phoenix, the public golf, they are awesome. But
it's expensive as fuck.
they're very expensive.
Unless you live there.
Yeah, true. But the problem, and to be clear, if someone calls tomorrow and says, "Do you want to play around in Scottsdale somewhere?" Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah.
But almost every one of those courses requires a cart, right? They're built for cart golf.
Lots of them. Yeah.
To me,
even the
that's-
flat ones.
Yeah. So to me, that's an immediate strike against a golf course.
For sure.
Not an irredeemable
Well, I
one.
mean, yeah, but 6 months out of the year, you couldn't walk it. You would
Yeah, but
collapse.
and that's part of why, I said to Gordon, because Gordon hadn't played Spyglass, and I was saying, coming from Palm Springs, I said, you'll go to Spyglass and you'll feel like it makes sense that there's a golf course there. Like it feels like, if the golf course wasn't there, there'd still be forest and grass there.
Right, you could hike that area.
Yeah.
Okay.
If there wasn't a golf course where Quintero is, and Quintero's awesome.
Yeah.
Wicked golf
You would
course.
die there of scorpion strikes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so somehow that takes away to me from the experience of like being in nature.
Oh, I mean, dude, it is forced into those hills. Like
Yeah.
that golf course doesn't feel. There's a couple of holes where you're like, oh, this is how it should look, but then otherwise it's pretty forced.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. You're saying at
Quintero.
At Quintero. Yeah, no, Quintero's awesome. But I don't get the same sense of like awe that I get playing in a place where there would be grass on the ground if there weren't a golf course there.
Every time I play Poppy Hills,
Love Poppy.
so every time I play Poppy Hills is interesting because it feels a lot like what Pinehurst feels like, but it's on the Monterey Peninsula. It's definitely unique from like, it's not like the other courses on 17 Mile Drive. It's not at all. It's definitely different than all of them.
More pro tips for affordable golf. Anyone can join the Northern California Golf Association. You don't need to live up here. So like I don't live here anymore. I'm
$69.
Yeah, $69 at Poppy Hills. That's the best. When I say the best value for a green fee, your mind might immediately jump to, okay, it's good for the money. No, like it's good for any amount of money to play that course.
Yeah.
But at $69, it's definitely the best round of golf you ever play for $69.
Yeah, there is something. So first off, so you probably don't even know this, but the AT&T used to use that as one of the courses up until like 2005, and now the Champions Tour. Yeah. So the Champions Tour, is that what they call it? Champions Tour?
Yeah.
The old men.
Sure.
Yeah. Where Tiger's going to end up soon. The Champions Tour now uses it as a stop. So there is a shit ton of history on this course. The funny thing is almost nobody knows that because they haven't been there. I mean, nobody watches the Senior Tour. But like the pros haven't been there, so people don't realize it's got the history and like Tiger's walked that course a million times. But there is something almost eerie about walking that course, and you can feel just the way that the shots echoes through like the pines and the cypress. It's an amazing experience.
I've heard it described as a mixture of Pinehurst and Augusta. So if that doesn't sell you on checking it out.
Right. The elevation changes are very similar. But by the way, you played Presidio a lot. You are not familiar with Presidio. You should have gotten this guy.
I told him.
The problem is the weather's crap, and when it's wet, it's really gross.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not a good. But dude, this course is as close to playing Augusta as I could imagine. Bear with me.
Okay.
Bear with me. The elevation changes.
Huge.
The way that it works through the cypresses, just like it works through all the different trees in Augusta. And now that I've seen Augusta with my own two eyes, I'm just like, holy shit.
It's like I could see it like it's like the Muni Augusta.
It very much is. It very much is. The design elements are not the same, but like the elevation changes, how a lot of the holes are side by side, but you can't really even see very many of them because like Augusta, you know how it is. It's in a block. It's in a square. Like this course, like look at that tee shot. Like it looks like it's out in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
Right? You'd only know that it's next to two other holes there once they show it. So you could be on the tee box anywhere at Presidio and never know that there are just holes lined up next to each other, 4 or 5 wide.
Do you play there often?
I used to play it almost every day.
How long ago?
This was, I probably stopped playing there about 5 years ago.
So do you know Joe?
Joe.
Yeah, I don't think he was there 5
How
years
about
ago.
Jeff? Because we
Wait.
had a run-in with Jeff at Cypress.
Yeah, what's the better story here? You know them both, Gordon. Joe or Jeff?
What is
Oh.
this?
Well, we were going along 17 Mile Drive, and he's like, just pull into Cypress, and I'm like,
Cypress Point.
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
yeah, and there's a sign, no, do not come in here. What will happen? What
It was
will
like,
say?
we'll fine you if you come in here. I'm like, who's gonna find me? Who's
Yeah,
gonna,
right. Who's
right?
going to find you?
So we kept driving, and we get out, and we walk kind of purposely.
Yeah, because
towards
there's
this
no
building.
gate, right?
Yeah,
There's
no gate. There's no gate.
purposely toward. Are we allowed to? We're allowed to tell a story.
I don't know. You're the guy who's the PGA
No,
card
nobody's
holder.
gonna give a shit.
Yeah, we walked purposefully towards some building on the left, and we just hanging out. No harm, no foul. We just drove around and saw it. We were gonna maybe fly the drone around it, and so
Nothing obtrusive.
No. So a guy comes up to us, and hey, what's going on? He didn't speak the best English.
I don't
That's
remember.
true, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, and he goes, yeah, we're here to see Jeff. And I'm like, wow, that was slick. That was so fast. And he's like, oh, yeah, Jeff? Yeah, Jeff Marco. And he's like, yep. And so, I'll go get him for you. And then,
Oh no.
and then, but is he here? And so we kind of
Yeah,
played it
now we're
off.
like, shit, we don't want him to get you.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
Jeff shows up, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah, so I'm kind of like, let's go
So
for a walk.
did you
And
wait for Jeff to come out?
We pretended we were on the phone with him. We looked around. We looked around a little bit, and I'm like, dude, that was
Wow,
brilliant.
dude.
Like we could have been fined or whatever. But yeah, it was just so funny. He nailed that, and yeah, we ended up scratch free, and we got to see inside Cyprus a little bit.
Okay.
and that was that.
Can I tell you guys a heartbreaking story about my opportunity to play Cyprus?
Oh, I don't want to hear it.
Dude, this is sad. This is sad. So, a number of years ago, through the girlfriend that I mentioned, she's working the AT&T, and typically a PGA Tour schedule is they have to be there by Tuesday. They don't have to be there on Monday, but they have to be there on Tuesday. And their obligations begin on Tuesday. They play practice rounds. They have like evening obligations, typically like dinner plans or entertainment of the guys that play in the Pro-Am on Wednesday. Then they start the tournament on Thursday, right? AT&T is different because it's a Pro-Am the entire time. And the one day off they get is Wednesday. So Tuesday they have the big like welcome to fucking Pebble. I don't think there's no qualifier, Monday qualifier for Pebble.
Correct. It's invite only.
Yeah, so they actually start on Monday, but that gives them Wednesday off, a rare Wednesday. So all of the guys go over to Cyprus and play Cyprus with the members. So like the members just hang out, like they all show up for that week. And most of the members, there's like fucking 50 of them, and they live all over the world. And they all show up for this week, for this tournament, and then hang out, and pros go play. So one of these guys is the CEO of Chevron, and I'm going to play with him and my girlfriend's dad at the time. And the pro that he normally plays with is Jordan Spieth, who actually won it this particular year. So the problem is it's fucking storming on Tuesday, and it's supposed to maybe clear up on the Wednesday. So we go and we're like in the clubhouse and locker room, like getting dressed, and the course is trying to figure out if they'd let a few people off, but now they've like stopped letting guys off, and it's fucking rainy and windy. And like, we're all looking around, and we got introduced to Jordan Spieth. So I got to meet him. And finally we were like looking at each other like, dude, like how much longer do we want to stick around and try to do this? Jordan had never played it up until that point, Matt, weirdly. So he's like, I'd really like to get on. So like maybe like give it an hour. So we were just in there like screwing around. And finally they go, okay, somebody came in and said, hey, Mr. So-and-so, and the four of you guys can head out to the first tee, like talk to the guy. So the main concern in the Monterey Peninsula, I mentioned this. So like eucalyptus trees and cypress trees don't do well in the wind. The cypress trees break and hurt people, and eucalyptus trees just fall over. There's not a lot of eucalyptus on Cyprus. So we get out there. Jordan, go ahead. And I'm like stoked, right? Like I'm gonna get to play. And I'm like thinking like, dude, this is a really bad, a fucking terrible idea. Like this is not good. Like there's sideways rain every couple of minutes. And finally this cypress like back behind us, like between us and the clubhouse, you can just hear
Dang.
and we look and it's like clump. And the starter goes, all right, guys, I think we're done for the day. And I was this fucking close. But the problem was it would have been like today where it was just miserable the whole time, and it wasn't going to be that good. But I was like, all right, well, fuck it. We'll do this next year. And then I broke up with the girl. So whoops.
That's a mistake.
Yeah, dude. And like, I would argue that Cyprus is more exclusive it's like Pine Valley level of exclusive, more so than Augusta.
I think so, yeah.
Because Augusta has more members, first off. And Augusta, there are a number of ways to get out there. Like you can volunteer. You can go volunteer for the tournament for the entire week and be able to play.
Wow.
Play?
Yeah. So they have a volunteer day where all the people who come and work the tournament and volunteer for it for the entire week, they get to come back on one day right before they close for the summer.
Are you
So
sure?
Absolutely. So you have to get into, same thing for tickets. Like you get into the lottery. And
To
then
volunteer, you have to get into a lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then they pick all the people, and then from there they like interview everybody and make sure, it's mostly like younger kids, but there's like older folks and guys our age and whoever. So there's a wide range of jobs. So your job could be picking up trash all week, or you could
be a walking scorer with Tiger the whole week.
or any of that shit. Any of that shit. So that's definitely something I'm like trying to get into, but you got to win the lottery first, which is kind of a pain in the ass.
That's interesting. We'll be looking into that.
Dude,
It's a shame, man. Like I was saying earlier, like I think the worst single thing of golf is like inaccessibility of cool experiences like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because that's kind of what a little bit of the piece that drove me to start the channel, like the idea of off-brand golf products. And like, I think it's fascinating that even still now, I had this idea a year and a half ago, and still nobody reviews.
Yeah.
Sub 70 is a little different, but like New Level and like all of the golf ball companies and all of the apparel companies.
Have you done Hayward?
Haywood.
Sorry, Haywood. Yeah,
Haywood.
What's wrong with me? They're out of Vancouver,
Yeah, nobody reviews them.
Yeah.
And dude, that company is an unbelievable club banker. Those things are a thing of beauty.
Yeah, I'm buddies with the guy who was their club builder for a while. Really cool guy. And they're apparently good.
Yeah, and I'm buddies with Mr. Haywood.
Yeah. Josh, shout out.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's
That's cool.
Yeah, he was thinking about doing long drive for a bit, and we worked together a little bit in his
Those
swing.
clubs are beautiful. Those irons.
And you know what? They've come a long way too. I got one of his wedges in the beginning when he just started, and I couldn't use it. It was illegal. I think I was doing my PAT at the time, and it had like illegal grooves. So he's hustled and he's done a fantastic job. And now I've got another long drive buddy that is just a meticulous fanatic for clubs, and he's like, these clubs are built well now. Good job. So
Shout out
he's,
Rich. Good
he's
job,
made some
Rich.
gains. So
You've got like old VR Pro. Are those combos? Pro combos?
yeah.
Dude, those are awesome.
They're fun. Yeah, there's an off-brand almost. Well, not off-brand,
No.
but old.
Yeah,
Old
old as shit.
brand.
Old brand.
Yeah, they're fun. I got.
That's my next channel. I got about 10 more years and then I'm old
Some
brand.
Spalding
There
and,
we
you know.
go. We were just at a range actually close to Half Moon and picked up a 2-iron, 3-iron, picked up some stuff.
Dude,
and,
what about the wood?
well, which one?
The driver.
Did you guys go to that old school range in Half Moon
Yeah.
Bay
Yeah.
to warm up this morning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We
What
got-
did you guys think of that place?
Well, we got colder.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that
So-
place is exposed
Mhm.
to the elements.
Yeah, but we had fun. We hit some 40-year-old drivers.
More than that. Dude, 40 years ago is like 73s. These would have been like 50s, I think.
Yeah, it was
So,
cool.
like,
We hit some woods with screws.
With
and-
legit screws in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had fun. It was fun. But yeah, you hit one in that weather with like how hard the shafts were and how.
Dude, I grew
old
up playing on wood clubs.
That's
My first set of
crazy.
clubs, my 3-wood, 5-wood, and driver were all wood.
That's awesome.
And then my first metal ones were like titaniums. They were a company called Prima, and they were a titanium ripoff of the bubble woods,
Oh,
the
cool.
TaylorMade bubble woods, like the
Whoa.
copper.
How many technologies has TaylorMade debuted? You're off-brand golf. Can we talk golf equipment for just a sec?
Sure.
Because, I basically think it's bullshit. I think that...
Well, it is now.
yeah. Right?
Now it is.
Right? Look, we hit old school woods today. Holy shit, the golf clubs have come a long way.
Yeah. But now,
I'm sure there's value in having a properly fit set of golf clubs. I'm also sure, as someone who's not swing guy, that if you feel confident standing over hey, in my own case, my old Titleist driver I shouldn't have gotten rid of. I don't think it was a better driver than my current driver. I think it just suited my eye better and it made me more confident and blah, blah, blah. So it's not that like there aren't gains to be made through equipment, but the idea that like at face value, the new Titleist driver is leagues different than the previous one or than the TaylorMade one, I think it's all marketing.
So I want to hear the coach's stance on this, but I will say that I've had Ping drivers for about 12 or 13 years. Like I think going back to like 2010. So that's like back to the Ping G10,
right?
No.
The G30 was a big one.
So it was G30 and then G.
Oh.
And then G410, I think.
Yeah. No, G400 was before.
400, then 410, then 425, and now 430. Yeah. So the first one I had was the G30, which was it was like the blue one, black with like blue accents.
I remember that one.
So my numbers, if you put the same shaft in each one of those heads, my numbers never changed from G430 to the G driver, same exact numbers with the same shaft. Same shaft in the G400, same exact numbers. G410, I got the LST. The spin went down. Same launch angle, same ball speed, same carry distance, same run out, all of it. The peak height was a little higher with less spin. And then G425, I just ordered a G430. Literally the same fucking numbers. The same exact numbers.
So no gains.
Honestly, just no games.
Well, how could there be?
Well, I guess the fact that they were making good, they've been making good clubs for a long time. I guess that's what that says, right?
Well, so the thing is if they're making those heads for the pro game first, which they are, you can't make them any longer.
Right.
Like they're limited.
That's right. They are.
So what can you do? You can make the acoustics better.
Yeah. Off-center hits.
Forgiveness. Right. So forgiveness.
Yeah.
So that's it. What I do notice is from even the 410 that I have now to the 430, that 430 LST, dude, you can swing as hard as you want and hit it all over the face and you barely lose any distance at all. So I will say that's the key. But like, dude, in terms of like distance or making you better, I'm like a feel and aesthetics guy.
Yeah.
So like I want to see a thin top line on my irons. Like I need that. So, you know, I'm about to game a set of black T100s. The reason why I like black is A, no glare, B, the top line, which is already thin, looks like it doesn't even exist.
Right.
So like I'm a feel guy, so I appreciate all that stuff. So I feel like once you feel confident on something, who cares? You're good on it. But like I do know that from like a blade, there are obviously from like blade to game improvement to somewhere in the middle, like you can pick up different things from that. But dude, you're right. It's all marketing. Like none of it's going to make you any better at all. Like if you gave me a game improvement set with like a shaft that's relatively close to what I swing, I could probably hit the ball decently.
Oh yeah.
And if you gave me a set of blades, I could probably hit the ball decently. And there would be difference in performance, but like after a minute, you could figure it out and play
I just think
game.
there's so much money made selling golf equipment, and that we've all, and like I don't think I'm any exception. I've bought into this too. We all nerd out about equipment, but it's a very like uniquely golf thing. Like I've never seen a hockey player sit and geek out over like the new stick, or a baseball player or whatever, right? Like I think in golf there's like these two things going on. We all want the new hotness because it's shiny and cool.
Yeah.
And golf is so goddamn hard that we all fool ourselves into thinking. And again,
there's a shortcut, right?
Yeah, and I don't think I'm high and mighty. Like I've done this so many times. But if I were you, I don't know how you feel about this, Gordon. If I were a coach and I watched an asshole like me who like has spent thousands of dollars on equipment and is like allergic to buying lessons, it would drive me nuts. Like, how do you feel about that?
Oh yeah, like Yeah, I just know how much room there is to potentially gain with some people. Not everyone. I've done fittings too. I've done fittings for the top 5 major golf brands, maybe 100 of them. And there were times, like actually a good example. There was a person that was 5'5" that came in with one of the TaylorMade iron sets of the day.
Uh-huh.
They were too long and too upright, and they came in and at impact they were jumping a lot.
Yeah, to be able to
make room for the long
That's
club.
funny.
Yeah, and so it was like, where'd you get these? Oh, Golf Town, and where they fit? Obviously not. And then you get a club that's better fit for them. For that person was like an inch shorter and a flatter lie angle.
Yeah.
And they had way more club face control, and their swing changed 50% just from a better fit club.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've seen a little bit of everything, and but yeah, now the difference is there was one test actually. There's 2 tests that drivers had to go through to see how hot the faces were. One, you drop something from higher up onto the face, and you see how high it would jump up, like how high it would rebound.
Uh-huh.
And then the other was they'd like fire a ball, a golf ball out of like a potato gun or whatever.
Yeah.
At a face that was horizontal, and see how far it would bounce. So in one year, it was the year that the Green Epic was made, Callaway, and that face actually was illegal for that year. It was so thin and so hot, but the reason they got away with it is because they took one of those tests away. So they took the other test. So, if you're firing a ball at a face with speed, it's different than just dropping it on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was 1 year where there was a huge competitive advantage in ball speed, and that was that Green Epic. But good players would cave in the face. It was so thin and had such a good trampoline effect that they would cave the face, and I saw it so many times.
That's
with people,
so crazy.
Yeah, over 115. It was really neat. So there's funny stories there, and yeah, there's drivers from 10 years ago that are still as hot when you hit them on the button. But I think fittings are huge, and I think what you need to do with the fitting is you need to get both. You need some fittings and some lessons, because you don't want to always fit around a really crappy swing, because eventually things are going to catch up to you, and it's not going to lead to gains. And by the way, Instagram golf gains with a Z or a Z, depending on where you're from. There's my shameless plug for my
No,
online
by the
stuff.
way, I was going to ask you. So if people want to like get in touch with you and they're like, yeah, this guy doesn't have his head up his ass.
Yeah.
What so where could they reach out to you? So Instagram's one, golf gains with the Z.
I'd say that's probably the main one. I've got a YouTube channel, but it's terrible. Just started posting new videos there. I'm gonna actually probably upgrade that here pretty soon.
And what's that called?
That's just like Gordon Jarvis Golf.
Okay.
I think I threw that maybe into Golf Gains as well. But yeah, I'm at McCleary Golf Academy in Vancouver, and online it's Golf Gains. Gordon Jarvis is my full name. There's a bunch of links and videos on YouTube that have that that are kind of in the title as well. But yeah, we're looking to level up there. My big thing was I didn't want to make content unless I really kind of knew what I was talking about and I was useful. And I feel like I've gone down so many rabbit holes that I'm getting reasonably useful now for the majority of players. And sometimes it's, hey, let's not work together. You're fine. So, you know what I mean? Or go putt or go exercise a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, I'm trying to be holistic with
Dude,
with how I do
he
things.
could literally just grab a still frame camera, like with a good background and a mic, and just talk through different aspects of biomechanics in a swing, right? Like there's
So
not
true.
Yeah, there's not that many people really. A few people, I suppose, but mostly it's like specifically, dude. I bet you could do it.
Well, here's I've done a little bit of that, and I've interviewed other coaches, and there are some things out there. I started this thing a couple years ago where I would measure people's wrists and hands and their elbows on both sides on a scale of 0 to 10, and give them a number as far as like grip strength goes. So
Okay.
the stronger the grip, the more it's going to close the face. The weaker the grip, the more it's going to leave it open.
Yeah.
And one thing that's interesting is it's not only our hands, it's the way our elbows are orientated while we're gripping the club.
Yep.
And I started giving them values and then posted that on Instagram, and it kind of blew up. Like I had hundreds and hundreds of people saying, "What's my score? What's my score?" And please do this for me, and I want to know because I'm having problems and I'm just curious.
There's an app opportunity right there.
Yeah. Well, I think there's so much in setup. So what I'm doing now is I'm filming a setup series I want to be able to show people that they sometimes like Adam, don't have to work on their swings to get a better ball flight and impact. Sometimes it's just in your setup. So I'm going to do a series.
Dude, that's true. Bringing those hands in and starting that swing.
Yeah, you
just
changed your setup and made big gains, right?
Dude,
you didn't
huge.
even think about your swing too much.
Nope, it's really not. The only thing I have to keep in mind with the swing is just reaching a little farther back because I'm not whipping it inside.
Yeah.
I'm pulling it back, and then once I feel that pull, it's
Go time.
you have no other choice but to pull the club through. So like my lag's a lot better, and like I'm getting more. The ball goes through the window I want it to go through.
You nuked some irons today.
Yeah.
Like they were just like into the wind on that
So
10-yard par 3.
Yeah.
That was an awesome golf shot you hit.
Thanks,
I
dude.
heard it, and then you're like, let's start a match, and I'm like, oh no.
Wait a minute, he warmed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Thanks, dude.
Yeah,
Thanks.
That's awesome.
Dude, I feel bad that you guys are here so late.
What else are we doing? Just hanging out with Nerd Dog.
Yeah. It's been great. Thank you for having us on and for wrapping it up here. It's
Yeah,
been a
absolutely,
riot.
dude. You guys were good company today, and your brother too, by the way, dude, just slanging it out there in his shorts. It's 40 fucking degrees. He's,
It was the coldest day I think I've ever played on a golf course today.
Yeah.
dude, his legs were purple. They were fucking purple.
He's intense. He's a cold therapy guy. He'll jump into the ocean any time of year. Not the best golfer yet. He's just new.
Yeah.
Quarter brother from down here. We've never lived within the same country, but he can sling a football. And we got to do that sometime with him. It's so fun to catch a football out of his hands.
Dude, yeah, it was fun. I think, Adam, we've been wanting to do this since the first time we played, so I'm glad to get you in. We hit a lot of topics, which is nice. It's going to be fun to chop these up and throw them up as shorts and see what happens with them.
I'm so looking forward to being part of content that I didn't have to edit.
Dude. The shit part is nobody's gonna know this by the time I get done making this sound all right, but there was an issue with a cable not sounding great, and we had because I had to split this show into 2 files, dude, it just doubled my editing time. It
God.
sucks that it's like that, but that's the way. But dude, when you guys see your little cartoon versions of yourselves, it's gonna be good shit.
Love it.
We're gonna look pretty good. So, everyone, thanks for listening. It is Adam. He is not a scratch golfer on YouTube. You can also find him on Instagram. You do anything else? You a big Twitter guy?
No.
Hell
none of those
no.
things. Don't even check out my Instagram. It's not good. Just go to me on
Hey,
YouTube.
I'm about to blow both of you up on Instagram. Let's go.
Dude,
Go there and we'll make it happen.
Yep. Golf Gains
Correct. With a Z.
with a Z. Not to be. You know who says Gains all the time and is a golfer?
Well, Kevin Tway.
Kevin Tway all the
Yeah.
time with the Gains.
I almost asked him when I was there at he's making all kinds of gains lately too. I'm happy for him.
Yeah. Cool. Well, everybody, thank you for listening. Thanks for hanging in there. I know this was almost a 3-hour show, so
Wow.
good job. I could tell, dude. Yeah, Adam was getting ready to pass out. Like his eyes are all heavy. He's enjoying the bourbon.
It's true. It was very good.
Long few weeks of golf here.
Cool. Thanks, guys.